At the mesa of a mountain in the land of trickery, we find a forest. Withered trees of dull green and brown packed tightly to paint the scene as a thick fog rolls outward and down the cliff sides. A sad state for a forest, but a perfect place for a hideout. Beyond the fog, beyond the trees, beyond the illusions, we see a lush forest teeming with life, leading to a village brimming with energy. As the organization responsible for monitoring magical anomalies and fighting back against the corruption of magic, the clan of Cauldareen won't be caught sleeping. We see teams of agents returning to base via the teleportation circles on the outskirts of the village. Robotic creatures crawl the treetops of the deceiving forest, monitoring those permitted. And we find new recruits to the clan of Cauldareen, hard at work.
Hi, I'm Myri. I play Brutus, the human paladin. Do you consider yourself a warrior?
Hi, my name is Mustafa. Name so nice you gotta say it twice, and I am playing Tear, the Fallen Star, ASMR, Circle of the Stars Druid, and I hope we don't fall today.
Hello, this is Grim Songbird playing your lizard folk wild magic sorcerer Hiccup.
Hi, I'm Amelia Som playing Terex, the blood hunter drow. I never said blood hunting was good. I said that it was sexy and fun and that I was good at it.
Hi, I'm Ivy, and I play Ruby, the Fire Genasi rogue. God damn it, again?
We see Terex waking up from her week-long coma, dead weight no more. Her cousin Kagor, leader of Cauldareen, makes a house call, his dog Sarah in tow. A heavily armed woman gives her report. The blade songs are dead, the tattoos come from Cauldareen, and their source is a gnome's named Altair. Jarvis scans the country far and wide, spending days on end in pursuit of these shadow market dealers. Jarvis never misses their mark. Awaiting their next mission, Team 10 trains hard to hone their skills and survive the next battle. A paladin flows like water, a blood hunter analyzes her opponent, a leader steadies her aim, and a wizard teaches some casters how to multitask. We jump to tea after a hard day's work. Twisted dreams fill the night of two of our heroes, and a strange sight drags them out of bed. A bear covered in vines and bark, staring up at a woman much the same, peering into their rooms. In order to get help, a surprise appearance, an outstretched hand, and an introduction to Sharwin, the Guardian. These are the next defenders of this land, and these are the Cauldareen Chronicles. Welcome, everybody. This is Cauldareen Chronicles, episode 6. I hope you guys are ready for a fantastic time. We're going to dive right into our show as our character, Sharwin, the Protector, extends a hand to Ruby. And says, "Hi, I'm Sharwin, the Protector, the Guardian."
Is this somebody that Ruby has heard about at all in her time living here?
Roll a history check.
Okay, great. Cool, we're already rolling dice.
It started early.
Yeah, you know.
Brutus is going to cast a Searing Smite into her sword and just stand there very ready for something to go wrong.
That's 14.
Smart.
14.
With a 14, you have never heard of her. But with a 14, you've seen things like her and the bear around. You suddenly remember, on occasion, you see little creatures run about the clan of Cauldareen, and always have, but like a squirrel or a bird, and they're often made of the same makings. But that is all that comes to mind. You have no clue who the hell this is. And Brutus, so you just charged up your weapon with a searing smite.
Yep.
What does that
Orange
look like on
glowing
the weapon?
blade.
Yeah, what does that look like on the
Yeah.
weapon?
She just runs her hand down it, and yeah, it just like heats up instantly to be the molten metal orange color. And
Excellent.
she's just got it there. She's ready.
And
And
beside instant coffee, we have instant smears.
yeah.
Oh, that's not the right word.
Words are so hard. Words are so hard.
What are they?
And she just looks right over at Brutus with the glowing blade and says, "Oh, magic blades. Those will be useful. I need Hiccup and Tear. Right now, Hiccup and Tear, you are asleep up 10 floors up in your room, in your apartment. I need each of you to make a perception check for me.
Ooh,
I'm on the couch.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
Not
on the
in the
couch.
room.
I left you there in the case somebody came back into the room. I left you there intentionally because I was like, if somebody comes into this room while we're out, I need somebody here.
Uh-huh.
Yes, to scare me
You got a
awake.
22, baby.
yeah, to scare you awake.
To scare me awake, and I might turn into a plant. 19.
So both of you hear the ding of your elevator open up, and Hiccup, you are actually Tara, do you sleep with your door open or closed?
I would leave it open.
Okay. So with a 20, you said a 20
22.
22. Okay, yeah, that's enough. So you not only hear the ding, you see two hooded figures slip quietly and quickly into your apartment.
Ooh.
I'm going to sit up and just be like, nope, fuck you, stop right there.
And two hooded figures now in your sight are standing still, and they begin looking around the room, and they look about and they look around everywhere. They look directly at you for a moment, but then they peer out a window, and then they move to the other side of the room and they peer out that window, and they're checking your room very quickly. And one of them turns to you and says, "Hiccup."
Maybe, who are you?
And the other one turns and says, "In danger. Teammates in danger. Quickly, warn Team 10 their teammates are in danger. Warn them that someone is coming outside, and why aren't they awake?" And you hear several different voices come out of this beaked figure.
Fuck, I'm too hungover for this. Tear, Twinkle,
I'm
are
going
you
to-
still in here?
I'm going to run to the window and see if I can see anybody from there. And in the meantime, I'll yell back to Hiccup, "Yes, I'm trying to see if I can see them."
Oh, you're too loud.
And the one of the figures runs and jumps up to your landing and is perched now on the railing, looking into your room of darkness, and says to you, "They're around the corner. Can't be seen from here. They can't be seen from here."
We should probably
okay.
go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
I'm
Ugh,
booking it out the window. Nope, not
Hydrate
the
check?
window, the door. Okay.
I'd like to yeet myself from the window. No,
I'd like
no,
to
I'm not
yeet
doing
us
that.
right out there.
And so the two of you have been summoned by these two beaked figures. What do you do?
Actually,
Go catch up to
I lied. I am going to open the window and I'm going to jump right out of the window.
Dare no.
and it's
And
faster.
die.
Can I fly a wild shape right now? No, I can't. But I'm still gonna. Well, actually, no. It's 10. It's 10
Tear.
floors.
Tear,
10
no.
floors, actually. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna-
Tara retracts that.
Twinkle, please do not make me take the death box by
I
myself.
thought for some reason I thought it was 10 feet, not 10 floors. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
I can do
a
that.
big difference. It's about 30 D10 difference.
Oof. Twinkle, please do not make me take the metal death box by myself.
Posture check.
Okay. It would be faster, but let's go.
And quickly,
Okay.
Tear and Hiccup board inside of the elevator, and one of these figures climbs in with you, while the other jumps off of your railing and quickly darts around, throwing open every door on your floor and looking through each of the rooms very quickly and peering around as if looking for something or someone. And sufficed with no one found, they jump down and run. And you hear them say, "All clear." And the other one presses the button to send you down. Jump back outside now to Brutus and Terex and Ruby. You've just lit up your sword, and this person has introduced themselves as Sharwin the Guardian, and you've not heard of them.
So that's so suspicious to Ruby because she's lived here her entire life, and this is new.
There's no reason I would have heard of them. Is there?
You can also roll a history check.
Okay, let's get the ones out early. Oh, it's not bad. History is a 14.
Nope, you've never heard of this person.
Dislike that strongly.
And correct me if I'm wrong, is the person on one side and the bear on the other? Or are
Yeah,
they
the
next?
bear is, so you were peering around a corner at them. You were peering around a corner to your right, and they were both there. Then suddenly, when you made a noise, because Brutus talked out loud, the bear started walking your way, and she disappeared. Brutus turned around to run to get help, and boom, she was right there and introduced herself.
I'm going to walk toward the bear.
Okay.
My
And
hand on the hilt of my swords, not pulling them out, but just kind of casually resting there.
And yeah, this bear just lumbers towards you very slowly, and its head is just kind of bobbing and swaying, and it gets up to you, and it's probably 5 feet from you. It's still coming. Do you do anything?
I'll just stand there. And can you understand me?
And it walks all the way up towards you, and it tilts its head a little sideways as it just looks at you.
I tilt my head sideways and look at it.
And it leans in and sniffs you a little bit. And it's
Oh.
interesting to watch this happen because make a perception check, would you?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to note that Ruby has taken mental note of where Terex is, but she's still very much focused on this person in front of her.
That's a 5.
Yeah, you are just transfixed at looking at this thing and its glowing eyes and it's sniffing at you. Brutus, what are you doing right now? You've activated the smite. Who are you looking at? What are you focused on?
Oh, she's so stressed out. She keeps on switching between like eyeline to the woman, eyeline to the bear, woman, bear.
Okay.
She's just trying to keep a gauge on all situations in case this turns into a fight and she needs to stab a thing.
And you feel something inside of you. Your anxiety sort of stirs him awake, and you hear a little bit of a question in there. What is that? And you can feel the sensation in your mind as Oliver asks you, "What is that?"
Brutus is just, I don't know.
And he says, "Let me see it again."
Sure, I'll turn the lights on.
And so you give him access to look through your eyes as well. And he wants to look at the bear.
Yeah, I'll look over at the bear.
And as you do, he says again, "What is that? It has no soul."
You can just see if things have... This is head conversation.
Yeah.
Probably way
In
longer.
your mind, you're asking him. Go ahead.
She's like, so you can just like see if a thing has a soul.
It's kind of what I do. I interact with souls. Yet there's nothing to interact with there.
Is it just dead? Maybe it's just like full of plants. Maybe it's just like skin and plants.
No. It may have been living at one point, but no soul now.
Gods and fires, I hate this. I'm just gonna have my sword even more ready.
Ruby's gonna kind of glance back at that, just the sudden more readiness. That's a little concerning for her.
And the woman in front of you says, "Oh, I quite like that." And she holds her hands up, and the vines and twigs and such in along her skin begin to move and copy and form a sword mimicking yours as she holds it in front of you and has now basically mimicked your weapon.
Ruby trying to not instantly start a fight, knowing where the rest of her party is going to ask her, "Can I ask what you're doing here or what you may need?"
Oh,
Yeah, why are you spying?
Kind of
well,
points, yeah, that.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause any stir. I simply wanted to see Team 10.
Specifically this team.
You are Team 10, yes?
Correct.
Ruby and Terex, I'd know that attitude anywhere. And Brutus, I assume you definitely read like Hakita's student.
That doesn't answer my question of why you wanted to see us.
And at this point, Ruby, make a perception check.
Cool. I'm pretty good at those, I think. I'm okay at those. Let's see here. Please be decent. That's a 7.
And so you do not see it
Okay.
as someone sneaks up and suddenly takes to the sky, and a pair of wings open up. You didn't have time to catch where they came from. And someone calls out, "Identify yourself."
Okay, cool.
And an Aarakocra flying up above has a sword drawn, and it too is glowing with white hot metal as he calls down, "Identify yourself, intruder. We have you surrounded." And rolling out from on the other side, around the corner of the building from where the bear is, a halfling comes running around and rolls off the ground into a front handspring. And as he does, he transforms wild shape into a dire wolf as he stands up over the bear, baring his teeth down and growling. At this moment, the ding happens on the elevator as the two Kenkus come rushing out with Tear and Hiccup in tow, running directly past the front gate. Gnome sitting behind the desk, simply observing them as they run by. And they throw open the door and come outside, taking up point underneath the Aarakocra. Tear, Hiccup, you've just stepped outside and you see a woman holding a sword in front of Brutus, who has a glowing sword, Ruby, a giant bear next to Terex, and a direwolf and someone in the air with a sword.
I'm going to go ahead and pull my hands back as I prepare a thunderclap as I wait and see what happens. I'm waiting for Ruby to make the first move and then follow in her suit.
All right, Hiccup.
Hiccup is going to kind of jog up and be besides Tear and sees what's going on. Definitely not mentally prepared because he's still pretty hungover. But he is going to just be like, "Okay, I guess we're here now. Okay." And he's just waiting to see who attacks first so he knows who to defend and who for what, and just kind of observe very quickly on what is happening.
And this Aarakocra again calls out, identify yourself now. Ruby, do you do anything?
Yeah, so Ruby's going to raise her arm blade kind of at the ready of and then she identified herself as Charmin the Guardian, correct?
Mm-hmm.
She is
Charwin the Guardian.
She is going to repeat that to the identify yourself and let him know they identified themselves as Charwin the Guardian. I am unfamiliar.
And he leans his head over and calls back to you. Team 10, are you all right?
I'm gonna glance back. Currently,
Fine.
that is fine at the moment.
I want to pet the bear.
Kind of looking where the bear is. I'm kind of looking where the bear is, like,
You
status.
see Terex and the
Fine.
bear just kind of looking at each other quizzically.
Kind of looking back and forth of, wait, oh, okay, currently fine.
And he charges up a spell, seeing magic glow inside of him as he yells out again, identify, as he casts the command spell at her. And you watch it as this magic seems to wash over her, and it comes down and hits her, and then simply fades away. But Terex, you said you pet the bear?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold. I'm not gonna like forcibly pet the bear. I'm just gonna hold my hand.
And
It's
as you
sitting
reach
all
out,
over me and see if its head goes up.
yeah, as you touch it, you were petting the bear for just a split second, and it nuzzled up and it enjoyed the sensation. But the moment someone cast a spell at Charwin, its eyes changed colors and glow, and its vines begin to turn thick black and oozing as it bears its fangs now and suddenly begins to growl.
Okay.
No.
And it runs right past you. And
Oh,
it jumps against the wall, and its body sort of morphs into a mass of moss and vines that scales up the wall. And as it climbs up enough floors to be level with this attacker, it branches off back into bear form, but the center of its body opens up, and it snaps shut around this Aarakocra and begins to wrap around.
Oh shit.
As it lands back down in bear form, as if a bear suit is being now worn over this person, and they can't move, and his wings are petrified under the vines, and the bear's maw is now built over his face and beak. And Charwin says, "That's all right. I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it. Come now, let him up." And this thing is still oozing and black and angry. And you see the two Kankus immediately go to slash at their side. And then a voice calls out, "Hold your positions." Everybody make a perception check.
I'd also like to say Venom who?
Y'all, I'm super glad my passive perception is now 22 and I have a +7 to regular perception. This feels great.
what's it like to be wise? What's it like to not have dumped your wisdom stat?
It means you almost jump off a window.
It's an 18.
Damn.
11.
That's a 16.
I also got a 16.
6.
It's okay.
Okay.
Still
and you
hungover.
you said there was an 18 in there though?
Yo.
Okay. So with that 18, Terex, you are able to pinpoint the location of the voice. And coming out of the shadows, along with a human running by their side who seems like they might be a little bit out of breath, a were-tiger who you recognize as the Watcher of the Front, Fenris Black, steps out, bow in hand, and has held up a paw and has called, "Hold your position," and approaches your group. And the bear is beginning to mellow under Charwin's command to relax. And the Aarakocra, able to speak, but still covered in this, says, Commander, Fenris, intruders, hostile, unsure. And he responds, bit late for a walk, isn't it, Sharwin? And he smiles and says, oh, Fenris, always pleasant to see you. What are you doing out and about? Well, I didn't mean to wake anybody, especially all of you. And she calls up to the rooftops. I'm sorry about that. And several hooded figures now rise from their sunken positions, bows now relaxing as Fenris has given the signal. The entire night guard had come at the behest of someone calling for help, and now recognizing that they are not needed, and being called out by this person, they show themselves. You count 30 at least.
Fuck.
And I ain't relaxing yet.
Ruby is still just like, I will hit something.
I'll
dropping
drop
my
my
spell.
smite when I go to sleep.
Tara's like, nah.
That's,
I'm walking up
that's
to
not
the
true. I
bear.
have it for a minute, but
And Darwin calls out to the bear and says, Taglor, come along. And now back to its normal green and brown colors, it relieves the Aarakocra. And it slips off of them, taking its form again and walking back over to Darwin. And he gasps for air as he was caught unaware of the situation of this bear's ability, and stands up and says, Fenris, she wouldn't identify herself. Sorry, let's get that name right. Let's get that voice right. She wouldn't identify herself. And he says, well, care to introduce yourself? Care to introduce yourself, Sharwin? Oh, yes. Sharwin, the Guardian, senior member of Cauldareen, rank 8. Everyone roll a history check.
I don't even know numbers, but that's high.
That's
a 6.
that's a 10 for me.
That's a
Big ol'
12.
oh, I have a minus to that, so that's a 3.
Yeah.
That's an 18 for me. I actually
Ruby,
Oh, no.
you as leader understand a little bit more about the ranking systems, especially living here. And the ranking systems you are aware of are as follows.
Okay.
A rank of 1 is for recruits. Like when you first arrived here, any of you would be recruits. A rank of 2 dictates official workers, people who are clergy, but not quite mission goers. A rank of 3 is team members. So you would all be currently ranks of 3. Rank of 4 is for bodyguards, scouts, and soloists. Rank of 5 is for kill squad members, those allowed to work in teams of 3 or fewer. Rank of 6 is for heads of departments like research, things like what your mother might be. A rank of 7 is for senior staff or long-term members. Kagor is a rank of 7. You don't know about a rank of 8.
hearing that they are a rank 8, I immediately am gonna put the arm blade down and go, like, just the kind of the color a little bit drains as I don't know what that means, knowing where everyone else ranks.
I don't know what it
Jacob is
means,
going
so
to
I
approach the
still
bear.
am not relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm still approaching the bear.
Hydrate
Uh,
check.
Oh, thank you. Hiccup is going to ask Miss Charwin on his way over to the bear and asks, do I have permission to hug the bear?
Oh, yes. So long as it's not aggressive. He's not aggressive. Isn't that right, Taglin? And the bear looks over at you.
I would like to give a gentle hug to Taglin, and says, Taglin is a great name for a bear. You have a great name.
I would like to hug the bear. Yes, and Fenris says, now, it's not often that you get to meet a rank 8 member of Cauldareen. I myself am only rank 6. Now,
Ruby is hyper aware of that.
So that's
Sharwin.
like an important thing then. That's like really big.
I'm gonna look over.
I was very much not paying attention during
I'm
intro
going to.
classes.
Ruby's gonna kind of tell the rest of her team. Our leader is 7.
Oh, well, good for you, Sharwin.
And she looks over and goes, "Thank you." And
Benedict
again,
Bear.
Fenris says, "Stand down." And the shadows begin to move as all of those archers vanish. And they have been told that this is no threat. And they vanish back to their posts wherever they were called from. And the human next to them, the human next to Fenris, catches their breath and says, "I ran as fast as I could to retrieve you. But apologies, sir. It seems like this was a false alarm. I'm sorry to have gathered you for this." "Quite all right. This is a good time for things like this to be tested, your response time. Good job, Team 7. You have done well. I have trained you well. Now, is there anything I can do for you, Sharwin, or shall you be heading back?" And Sharwin says, "I just wanted to come see how the new Team 10 was. I had heard such fun things about their first mission. It was quite exciting, I hear. But I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I'll be going now. Come along, Taglin." And she turns and steps towards the wall of your own building. And as she steps and touches it, she just kind of phases into it.
Can I, I'm going off of a hunch here. I'm going to ask her and Sylvan, what is your bear?
And she turns back and looks at you for a moment. And she thinks. And then she looks back to you and says in Sylvan, "Oh, Sylvan, not what I expected you to speak. My apologies. This is Taglin."
Doesn't have a soul.
"Oh. Well, he was very sick when he came to me. Most of them are. Unfortunately, I couldn't do anything for him then. But he works in my service after."
Right. All in Sylvan.
Yeah, and the whole squad, unless you could speak Sylvan, have no clue about that conversation just now. Can anyone else speak Sylvan?
I can.
No.
Oh, wait, Moose, you can?
Yes, I can indeed.
All right, so Tear just straight up heard all that. And then, and Sharwin turns and says in common again, "Sorry for the trouble, Fenris. Tell Anafe I said hello." And she warps into the wall, and so does the bear, and she is gone.
Hiccup's gonna give Taglin a bye-bye pat as he passes by and goes, "Bye, Taglin."
And she
There's a bear in the walls? That's a very nice wall.
That means we're never lonely. That's really weird to say.
Nope, I hate that. I hate that.
I'm with Brutus on this one.
No, Fenris, where's she been hiding this whole time?
And Fenris looks back at you all, and to Tarek says, "Why don't you ask Anafe about it? After all, she was a former member of Team 10," and walks off.
Bree looks genuinely annoyed again.
And you have just been told that Anafe was a prior member of Team 10. And Fenris nods to the group that he has referred to as Team 7 and gives them a nod and heads back off. having done his job and is returning to his post for the night. And so there's 2 Kenku and Arakokra, a human in leather armor, and this direwolf that now shifts back into the halfling and approaches you.
Ruby's going to do their normal salute. Team 7?
And the Arakokra speaks up. Yes, we are Team 7, and you are Team 10. Ruby, I take it?
Correct. And she puts out a hand. A pleasure.
And he reaches out and he shakes your hand and says, do you make it a habit of leaving 2 of your own vulnerable and asleep when you are aware of someone potentially snooping?
Do you make it a
No.
habit of getting eaten by a bear?
Derek's.
And he
No.
looks back and says, that's a lot coming from someone who I hear died on their first mission.
Oh, did you get hit by a storm of meteors on your first mission?
No, I tend to have our team complete the task before it ever comes to that.
Well, maybe they just give you easier tasks.
Oh my.
And
Grapes?
the 2 Kenkus mimic your voice. Maybe they just give you easier tasks. And they crack up about it. And the Arakokra stands up and completely dusts themselves off now and retracts the wings and says, well, if it weren't for us keeping watch,
Nothing would have
wouldn't have
happened.
known.
Oh.
Nothing would have happened. They obviously weren't dangerous.
Obvious is a strange word to use for someone who, I believe, cast some energy into their sword and drew an arm blade on obviously not dangerous, you say?
I mean, I didn't. So, yeah. Called precaution, but, didn't wake up half the
Ruby-
city about it.
Ruby's going to shrug. What a shame. I thought we would be friends.
We are Team 7. Friendship is a commodity. We are here to complete our missions. I am Sir Galeth of Alexagor, and you will recognize Alexagor as the capital city of the Land of Light.
Good for him.
What was the name again? I'm just
Probably shouldn't have been so mean to him.
note
Sir,
takers just trying to write this down.
Sir
Hmm?
Galeth, Galith, Galeth.
Galeth of
Wait, would I know recognize that name at all?
His name?
Yeah. If
Uh,
he's
yeah.
a sir.
Go ahead and roll.
is Sir Galeth
That would
of
be
what?
probably a history check there. Of Alexagor. Alex Oggar.
XOG.
Hare's gonna look up
Thank
whenever he mentions not friendship being a commodity and say, leading a life alone with no friends sounds very sad to me.
Yeah, I would know. I didn't have friends once.
Ruby could tell this is not going well.
That's a
And
19.
you got a 19?
19, yeah.
Yes. So that name rings a little bit with you, that you recognize that there are all sorts of folks who are in Cauldareen, and this member, you've heard of sort of a star member of one of the teams who was actually a knight and was knighted in the land of light, life, L-I-F-E, the land of life.
Oh, life. I thought you said
life.
light. Okay.
Yeah, land of life.
Yeah.
And you recognize that this is a genuine, like, knighted figure who has left their knighthood to work for the clan of Cauldareen, perhaps for like the greater good or more than they could do in just a single. Yeah.
Cool. Love that for him.
And the 2 Kenkus approach and they hold out their hands, and one says Palo and the other says Murin.
Ruby.
Thank you for waking us up, Paulo and Morin.
And they turn, and in this Arakokra's voice, they hear, wake up the others of Team 10.
Oh, thank you then.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate the assistance.
And the human who has
Hold
been in the back at the whole time says, well, if we're doing introductions, I'm Sapphire. And that there's Vinny, pointing to the halfling approaching from behind you.
Ruby, through this. Eric's. Hiccup. Hair.
Hi.
It was Sapphire and who? Sorry.
Vinny.
We appreciate the assistance. Thank you. As she's kind of holding back, wanting to just. Since Terex has the sass covered.
And Sir Galeth looks back and says, well, now introductions are done. Perhaps next time you won't require any assistance and you'll send your own person ahead of time to get help instead of allowing you to be cornered all at once by not branching off to begin with.
Yep,
Great.
maybe.
Or maybe
I'm
if
sure
you're
consider
on
the fact that
watch
you-
next time, maybe you can catch them.
We'll definitely keep the battle statistics in mind. Thank you.
And he goes to walk off back into the building and turns back and says, and honestly, do none of you sit up watch here?
No, we sleep like normal people.
The first rule is to never, ever let your guard down, even amongst your own city. You never know when it will come under attack. That's how we were able to warn someone so quickly.
Yep.
Think it through next time.
Thank
you
you
think
for
that
the excellent
maybe-
advice. Yeah.
Do you think that maybe friendship wouldn't be a commodity if you weren't so insufferable? Like, you could just be nice.
Ruby's Cal. Terex.
And Paulo and Morin mimic your voice, go, so insufferable. You could just be nice. So insufferable.
I thought the first rule was to finish everything on your plate.
And Sapphire just kind of shoves her leader into the building and is like, pleasure to meet you, Team 10,
A
officially.
pleasure.
Yep.
Love to
You
talk
too.
again. At
to
lunch
have you
sometime.
as
We should get
friends.
coffee. For sure.
And they head in off to the other side of the building to their elevator and they head up to their rooms for the night.
Hiccup looks
went
back to
well.
the rest of the party and just goes, yep. Yep. And there are neighbors too. Great. Great.
Brutus is just like, oh, don't pay them any mind.
Do you think we
People with
can
a
have
chip
them
on their
over?
shoulder always, can't help but just try to keep others down.
Do you think we can have them over for like tea?
I think that'd be great. I think that'd be a lot of fun. No, I think it'd be great. I'm not kidding.
See? Right.
Gets it.
That's because
Yeah.
Terex would be very mean.
But she would have fun.
Just matching his energy. I am just matching his energy.
Everyone needs a hobby.
Look, I know you wanted to say something, but you're the leader and you can't say things because you need to be important and regal and stuff. So I'll just say it for you. It's fine.
Ruby kind of drops that leadership persona. All right, it's pretty funny. They are correct about the battle strategy. We need to.
Yeah, but he was a dick about it.
You're right, but
Well, I mean, actually, strictly speaking, he sort of made things worse, so I don't know that he's the best person to be taking advice from.
well, also correct.
Yeah, that bear was super
Yeah.
cute.
I
And
have
so
a
friendly, you
question.
could just tell.
What is commodity? That's another word I don't know.
We'll explain that one later.
Okay.
The good that
Um,
is bought or sold.
I think it's a
Since-
common oddity.
Yeah,
Ah.
right? I think that's anyway,
I think we need to go inside for a moment.
yeah, let's get to our
Can I go back to sleep?
Yes,
I still
in,
feel like shit.
in a
Yes.
moment.
Uh,
And Ruby will direct.
Do you not want to feel bad anymore?
that's why I want to go back to sleep.
drink some water. You'll feel better.
I'm going to go ahead and put my hand on Hiccup and cast Lesser Restoration as I cure a poison.
Aw,
Yep. That would get rid of a hangover.
There
cute.
you go.
Thank you.
Ruby's going to direct them inside and take the elevator back up, I'm sure.
I'm gonna give Tara a friendly clap on the shoulder on my way in.
When we get back to the common room, Ruby would like to stop you all. That individual was ranked 8. Our leader is level 7, or rank 7.
Yes, I was just about to ask. Is that a thing you knew existed?
No. No, it's
that.
not. I've lived here my whole life and I didn't know that.
That
I've
says
never
to
seen them
me-
before.
The rank 8, and they just watch people sleep all the time.
That says to me shadows like people running things from behind the scenes. Secret rank above a leader rank. I don't like that. I don't like secrets.
I also don't like
She
it.
did not give me Shadow Leader vibes, more like if the earth had come to life and was just vibing. That's sort of the energy I got there.
Maybe they are Cauldareen.
Like,
Do you think there's a level?
I
there's
trust
more
them
level
implicitly.
8s?
she was great. The bear was weird, but I can get down with it. I don't know, we'll just ask Kago
We're
next time we
all
see him.
weird.
Great.
I like Taglin.
We're all a little weird, it's
Taglin
okay.
is really sweet.
Okay, all right.
Taglin's adorable.
Getting off track
Right?
here, guys. Like, and that's Ruby. Just all right. I'm gonna stay up for them and watch the rest of the night.
You can't stay up all night.
I've slept some already.
And how much have you slept?
How much have I slept, Corso?
Yeah, you guys got like 4 hours of sleep or so.
Okay. You
Okay,
stay up for 2 hours, I'll stay up for 2 hours.
fine. I'll
Or
take
we
first
can
watch,
just
though.
like set up like just I don't know, I guess traps and stuff, and we can all go to sleep.
I just like my instant thought was just mouse traps.
I was thinking Home Alone. I was like, we're just gonna spend 3 hours Home Aloneing the entire place.
Slumber party in the common room.
spell.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I don't have the snare spell. Can I interest you in an Eldritch Blast?
Maybe we'll kind of wave it off.
Can I interest you in an Eldritch Blast?
Maybe we'll just kind of wave it off. No, I'll take first watch. Go get some rest.
Right.
Okay.
I'll wake you up in 2 hours.
All right. And
Okay.
so everyone else heads to bed while Ruby takes first watch?
Hiccup's gonna go back to sleep on the couch.
Certainly.
In case if, an emergency does happen, I can be the first one she wakes up.
And
Over my
so
window.
I'm like an emergency alarm.
all of you head to sleep and you're able to take watch, Ruby. And throughout your watch, nothing much happens. You might peer out a window here and there and see a person or two just patrolling, as they do every night. It was something you grew up around. There was always a patrol and such. Nothing happens, and you're able to go wake up Terex for the next watch. And Terex, you are woken up and brought about to go on watch. And how do you go on watch? You just hang out in the common area, or what do you do?
Yeah, I did want to say, before Terex goes on watch, she's gonna leave a note for Sharwin just in the window. So it's so small that you wouldn't be able to see it from right in front of it. And it just says, "I hope you're having a lovely evening," and puts it.
Aw.
Sharwin can read because I like the vibes.
Cute.
Yeah, I'm probably kind of bored being on watch, so I'm just kind of wandering around.
Yeah. And yeah, you're wandering about, checking out the space. You realize as you open up one of the doors that there's still that empty room you guys haven't given, you haven't had any guests, so you haven't needed the guest room. So it still sits there. And you also have your armory, which has just a few base weapons in it, but nothing special. And nothing has been brought back by you or stored in there. And then the final room in between the 3 bedrooms and the 3 bedrooms in the corner that joins them is your big meeting room. And, it's got a table in there and a bunch of equipment, but again, it's not had much use yet. You haven't had to plan anything. And your watch just goes by very uneventful, but you're able to kind of scope out the whole place. And morning comes. And there's a ding at the elevator. as out steps Anna Faye.
Yes.
And she steps into your apartment and calls out, Team 10, are we up and active?
Hiccup from the couch, just, I'm as active as I can be at this very second. One sec.
Like a hand, like
Just a hand, just a hand just peeks up from the couch and just like a little hello wave.
Terex is actually ready because she's at like a 2-hour head start. So for once, I'm not late.
I'm doing some like push-ups in my room.
Of course you are.
Yeah, Ruby will step out of her room.
Some planks.
And like adjusting her arm blade as she walks out. Just
Yeah, Brutus will come out like stretching, like
Yeah.
And Carol walk out with his star map sphere in his hand as he puts it down, as he like puts it in front of him, and with his other hand is casting light and watching the stars play in front of him as he walks out. Yeah,
So cute.
we're ready.
And she says, well, I heard that you had gotten your next mission.
Yeah.
Where will it be
Yes.
sending you this time?
I think, Ruby, you have the message, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna be.
she'll take from her back pocket. It was the Land of Light, correct?
You were in the Land of Light the first time. This
Okay.
message read, Altair located, capital city, Land of Forge, Gimdry, which is the name of the city, awaiting Team 10's arrival, and it has Jarvis's sigil.
Okay. I'm gonna relay that to her, and then Ruby will ask, "Did you hear anything else?"
And she looks up and says, I hear lots of things. You'll have to be more specific.
I think she's asking about Sharwin.
And her eyes immediately dart to you, Tare. And she stares at you for a minute, and she squints, and she says, he didn't.
She says hello.
She does. She said hello.
And Anna Faye will roll her eyes, and you'll hear her sort of under her breath, just like, when will she ever learn?
Does she like to stare into people's windows often?
Not a good hobby, I recommend.
Are you guys friends?
Oh my god, Ruby immediately just puts her fingers to her temple. Just oh my god.
I'm absolutely obsessed with her whole thing.
My name is rude.
And I want to know why she knows me. It's like very, very interested.
Well, she knows just about everyone here. I mean, you do pass her by every day.
Where is she?
More on that, I just need an elaboration.
Pass by her every
Hold
day.
on, I'm gonna roll a check to see if
It's-
I have an idea, but I don't know if Terry.
I also have an idea.
I have no goddamn idea.
It's like when
Me
you say
neither.
Hiccup raises his hand and says, when you say pass by every day, are you talking about the front desk?
And she says, oh, no. I mean, unless she wanted to be there. But Darwin is a special case. But nothing to worry about. You've probably seen some of her creatures all over Cauldareen.
I would
Not
like to make an insight check, please.
For what?
Is she hiding anything that we should be worried about? When you hear nothing to worry about, I immediately think, is there something to worry about though? Or are you just
Yeah, now I'm
saying
so
that?
worried. I'm not even
Roll
gonna
an
make
insight
that-
check for roll an
Okay.
insight check for Hiccup.
Alrighty.
Just gonna
I, Amelia, have a theory. Can I say Terex has the same theory? Since Terex.
You give me a reason why Terex will think it. Bring it up. Yeah.
Because I assume my theory.
Well, hang
is
on.
that
Let me
she's-
get the insight check.
Yeah.
That's a 6. Hiccup will take her word for it.
Yeah, Hiccup will just like Hiccup. It's clear that she's not saying everything. She just doesn't feel like it's important to you right now, and so you're just like, all right, you said nothing to fear. But Amelia, what are you? What's Terex thinking here?
My theory, and mostly because as a blood hunter, Terex has extensively studied Fae, Fiend, or Undead. I feel like she's some kind of dryad, and she's part of the reason why Cauldareen is able to stay hidden so much. But she's just, I don't know her backstory, I don't know her whole deal, but I think that she's super powerful magic, and that's why she's rank 8, because she is literally like the area or magically tied to this area. That's my theory.
What about that are you saying to Ruby right now? To Anafe?
I'm going to say, is she some kind of dryad or fae creature that's tied to the land?
And Ruby, Anafe just kind of shakes her head a bit and says, something like that. It's a bit of a long story and currently above your rank, but I do suppose as Team 10, she's one to pay you a visit. Why would she?
Ruby wants to immediately comment. You were Team 10.
She was your teammate?
And she looks up to you and says, yes and no. She's much, much older than I.
I didn't know there was a rank 8.
I guess I was right. She is Cauldareen.
Most people don't know there's a rank 8. And if Sharwin would just stay wherever out of sight, I wouldn't have to be having these awkward conversations.
Why do they need to stay out of sight?
There's a lot to it. And yes, there is rank 8. It's reserved for special cases. There's only a few members of that, and for the most part, they're never mentioned or brought up. It's just a rank that exists due to their nature with Cauldareen. The first one I ever heard of was the Golden Dragon Sin.
We have a golden dragon?
We don't have anything. They have a rank of 8.
Well, very fair. I meant within our ranks.
And that one is a long story too. I wouldn't so much as say that in our ranks is the right. Is nice to us is a better word.
I don't
You
think
hear that? Maybe we can be friends with a golden dragon.
I don't think you're ever going to meet them, and if so, it'll not be under good circumstances.
Brutus is so
I
mad right
mean-
now. She's just like standing in the back with her arms crossed, like that
I-
face you're making when you're like really angry, but you're not trying to like look.
Not be angry, be like
The customer service rates?
Yeah.
The customer service rate.
Customer service face. Yeah. Hiccup's just like, oh man. Wonder if they can help me become more like a dragon. That would be so cool.
I don't.
And she says, no, this is
Why-
why I don't enjoy it. When they show up, it causes problems. Yes,
Yeah,
Sharwin is
problems.
a special case. She's a bit of a resident of Cauldareen. And I mean that literally. She is a part of Cauldareen. And she resides here. And that is usually about all you need to know. But when she goes and makes herself known and has conversations with people, I can't just not have this conversation.
Wouldn't have to have awkward conversations if there weren't secrets that could be discovered.
And she looks at you very just blasé and says, when certain things can do horrifying or powerful things, and you don't want people to know about them, secrets happen.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that line of thought.
And so while the best I can tell you right now, as I'm unsure of what I'm supposed to be able to tell you, I'll need to speak with Kagor now. But the best I can tell you is we protect Sharwin and what Sharwin is, as she's kind of one of a kind. And in return, her and her creatures protect us.
That makes sense.
Our whole organization is built on the preservation of magic and creatures in tune with magic or the like. And especially when it comes to endangered species or instances. And motions to you, Brutus, much like yourself. It's our job to ensure that even if things are abnormal, that we take care of them. And Sharwin is a glaring example of that.
As
Now,
I can understand that, I can.
For those of you worried, she's nothing to fear. Unless for some odd reason you were to get into a fight with her, then you'd probably have to worry about the animals first.
I
Like
know
their
that.
frilly feather.
Oh yeah, like Gareth last night.
I noticed that.
I kind of had that
Sir
coming,
Frilly
so-
Feather.
I love that. Please call
And-
him that.
Oh no, that's what he is. I am calling him that.
Do we get to
How
we
do
get
we-
to know
And
why
she's-
we picked her interest?
And I was Team 10 before and also piqued her interest. Yes, years ago, I was on Team 10. And with Kagor, actually. But
Crosses
before
her
that,
arms.
there were other Team 10s. There's other all teams. And
Right.
one of the original Team 10, as they expanded at the point, included Sharwin and her group.
Oh,
My great grandfather was a teammate of Sharwin's.
okay.
Right.
So,
And she has been quite fond of Team 10 ever since.
so the important question here: how do I talk to her? Because I know she has some good stories.
As a rank 3, typically you don't. But if she wishes to talk to you, there's not much we can say about it.
Noted.
Now, I believe that answers your string of bombardment questions, yes?
No.
Ruby's more taken aback of, oh wow, that went back a lot farther than I thought, because she's aware of the history.
Hmm.
Yeah, Ruby's satisfied.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Well, it's best you keep going with your mission. I just wanted to check in and see how things were. I need to go have a chat with Kagor now, seeing as that cat is out of the bag already. And she just like starts walking towards the elevator and she's like, hey, thanks for those follows, folks. Thank you very much for that.
Hey. Hey.
And she boards the elevator and descends.
Hiccup is going to turn to Terex and says, if you somehow find a way to talk to Sharwin, could you let me know, please?
Yeah. I have some feelers out already. I'll let you know the success.
Cool, 'cause her powers seem to be very familiar, like this place and all my powers remind me of my place. I was wondering maybe I can learn from her how she can connect better.
Yeah. If I hear back from her, I will let you know. Oh my gosh. What if we could all hang out like top secret? It's I want to know what young Kagor was like because he's very secretive about that part because I know he was a dork. I know it. I know it deep in my soul.
I can just tell.
I can tell. You don't get this high without being some kind of nerd. Just not how that works.
As they're
Yeah.
having this conversation, Ruby's gonna be like, okay, all right. If you all will get your morning breakfast and everything so we can head out on mission, please.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Thank you. She goes and gets herself a cup of coffee.
Hiccup is grabbing his grub, but is also wondering to himself, how can I leave treats for Taglin?
All
Ruby's
right.
going to purposely ignore all of that. She hears it, but she's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to touch that. We're just going to let it go. I'll deal with that when it comes up.
And so everyone gets all their morning preparations done and is ready to roll. Ruby?
You guys ready? And she starts headed towards the elevator.
No, I'm joking. Yes, I'm ready.
You got to come anyways. I said so. Let's go.
I'm always ready.
Okay, fine.
She
Slow your burning, Candle.
She just gives a look and clicks the button to go down. If we run into Team 7 in the lobby or anything, try to hold back your remarks.
I am always on my best behavior.
Sorry, I said that too loud.
That was
And
funny.
your
This is your
elevator
best
goes
behavior.
down and clicks open on the main floor.
All right. We need to go check in with our bookkeeper first, correct?
Yeah, that's what you usually do before you leave.
Okay. So I will start walking in that direction.
And yeah, you're able to go right on ahead to Mac, the bookkeeper's place. And as you enter inside this shadow veiled room, your dark vision kicks in, and Mac is drumming his fingers behind the counter. The Eladrin elf.
Good morning.
Can I
Mac.
help you?
Morning, Mac. I'll hand him the leather from Jarvis.
And he'll look it over and he'll say, "Ah, yes. Seems Jarvis has procured your information." And he says, "I was already aware, but I appreciate you checking in. Now, you'll be heading to Gimdry. Is there anything new you need to report that you're taking with you?"
I'll look to the party to see if they have anything new.
Just ourselves.
All right.
No.
Well, please be sure to check in when you return and let me know of anything that you need. And here. And reaches down underneath and grabs a book and flips through it real quick and then stops on something, shuts the book and puts it back. Yes. Rings a bell and a little tube next to him shoots up. And he reaches in and grabs it and pulls it out. For your last mission on the books, we have 50 gold apiece. If you are going to the land of Forge, known for their innovation, it might behoove you to carry some coin.
Okay.
How much do we get?
50 each, my
Okay.
friend.
Okay.
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 So now I have
Same as
70,
last time.
including what was already in my wallet from what I left last time.
If you need
Okay.
more, just let me know, and we'll mark it down in the book.
Okay.
Thank you.
And he'll look over to Terex and look you in the eyes and say, "Good to see you around."
Good to be around.
So I hear. And turns back and begins going back through his books.
How did everybody know about you dying, Terry?
Everyone, such gossips that we keep telling you we're missing out on all the good stories because we don't know them.
Words
Soldiers are worse than fishwives, it's true.
Oh my god. Let's go.
And so you, where are you heading now?
To the gate, I assume.
All right, yeah. So you're heading to the teleport gates, just on the outskirts of town, of this mountaintop little village, and you head into the forest a little bit until you get to the clearing. And across the clearing, you can see the 5 ways to teleport: the tree, the stones, the bonfire, the pond, and the magic circles on the ground in the back.
Can we make sure to follow the steps this time?
Yes.
And the
Yes.
steps aren't required when you
They're just-
leave; they're required
Okay.
when you return.
Back, got it.
Okay, that was just so we could note them
Yes.
last time.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, Ruby is going because remind me if I'm incorrect, but it requires the seal that Jarvis had put on there, correct?
Yes. So
Okay.
you need to mark the seal of your destination on the port of which
right.
one you're using, and then it'll match your ring when you teleport.
Perfect. Okay. I just wanted to recall that I was doing that correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll walk up to the tree, which is our usual teleport, and do
Mhm.
so. And open the portal.
And you put in the sigil for Jarvis, and the tree snaps and knots its way open, and the portal is open. It looks as if it just goes right through the tree out the other side, but you know if you walk through, you will be teleported to your destination.
Really like tree teleportation.
Yeah, you do. And she gestures.
Walking through the portal.
All of you head on in.
Yes.
Excellent. And as you all step through the portal, it knots itself shut and seals again. And you find yourself stepping out from a tree somewhere else in the world. And as you step out, you find yourself what looks like underground. You look up above you and you are that's dirt above you, but there's structures built to sort of hold it up. And everyone make a perception check.
I need to fuck.
Perception.
20.
Natural or unnatural?
Unnatural.
Cool.
Natural 20.
Nice.
25.
So that's actually 21 for me.
That's a nat 1 for me. Hiccups Crawley thinking, wow, it's dark in here.
Wow.
And for Brutus?
18.
Wow.
All right. So Hiccup being the last one to walk through then. Hiccup walks through and is sort of bumping into the rest of the party as they have all stopped. And you're unsure why. To the rest of the party, what you see is this underground cavern that you're in. And you see a couple of trees down here, some a little more withered than the one you just walked out of. You see a bunch of little cottages built down here. And you see several areas that look like farming and sections lifted up for vines. And some are still growing, but for the most part, it looks pretty abandoned. But the most interesting thing you see is 3 figures attacking someone. And you can't see right off the bat what is happening because it took you a second to recognize it was going on. They sort of paused as you entered, unsure of what's going on. And a 4th figure holds out a dagger and says, "Hey, who are you?" And the Warforged they have pinned looks and says, "Oh, hello, Team 10. Pleasure to see you again." And the one that had him pinned
Jarvis.
turns with a great sword and hacks off one of Jarvis's arms.
The swords are out.
Oh, no, they're
Yeah,
going down.
no.
No, they're going down.
That is where we're going to break. You look over and you see someone hack off one of Jarvis's arms. Team
Swan to
10,
frickin' John.
roll initiative.
I swan to frickin' John.
I swan to John.
John.
I swan to John.
Wanda John.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Ooh.
It's not great for me.
All right, what is my initiative? It's +1. Okay, that's good for me to know.
That's a 6 for Tear.
Okay, I have a 17 for Hiccup.
18 for Brutus.
20 for Ruby.
9 for Terex.
Okay, thank you, Terex, for not leaving me alone in single digits.
All right.
Hey.
Ruby, you are up first.
Cool. You said there's 3 figures?
There
Or
are 3 around Jarvis, and there is a 4th who was off to the side who has acknowledged your arrival and yelled, "Who are you?"
the other 3 or the others have not yet acknowledged our presence as this individual.
They paused for a second and looked in your direction,
Cool.
but then as soon as Jarvis talked, they went back to attacking him.
Can we
So there's
see,
1 looking at you, and 3 are occupied with Jarvis.
Can I see what they look like?
Yeah, they just look like some humans.
Okay, so they are
just-
human.
Yeah, just regular, you don't
Okay.
know what this is about, but there are 4 of them.
Okay. And they are carrying Warforge's arms off, which is not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
Okay, so I am going to acknowledge the one that acknowledged us first, turn to my teammates and direct them to the other 3 that are currently holding Jarvis while I deal with this one, since he was the first to acknowledge. So I will relay that to them of deal with these ones. I'll get this guy.
Okay.
And then I am going to firebolt. I'm just gonna send a firebolt in his direction.
Okay. Roll that attack, right?
Yeah. That's a 3 to hit. So that's a 16. 13
That'll-
plus 3.
That'll hit.
Perfect. That is 1d10 damage. All right. I'm just gonna use D&D Beyond to roll a d10. Oh, that's 9 damage.
All right. Yeah. You blast this at them, and their clothes catch fire, and and he is not feeling it.
Yeah, she just kind of reels back and looks when she yells to her party, "You get them, I've got this one," as she reels back with a firebolt and just kind of flings it in his direction.
And you hear Jarvis say, "Oh, Team 10, try not to kill anyone. It's always a hassle to deal with bodies."
Okay, non-lethal damage. Got it.
And the thugs look at him and are like, "What?" And you doing anything else? Bonus action or anything?
I believe that is everything, but I'm gonna double check. Yeah, I will end my turn there.
All
I'm
right.
just going to focus on my attention, having directed my other party members to these ones.
Brutus, there is one to the left that just got a firebolt shot at them about 25 feet away. And there are the 3 to the right about 30 feet away around Jarvis. It looks like that one maybe heard the tree cracking and opening and started wandering over to what the hell is that? And so that's what's going on.
Then the one that chopped off Jarvis's arm is 30 feet away.
Yep.
Cool. I'll pay attention to Jarvis's instruction. She was probably gonna not kill them anyway. And yeah, just take a straight charge right at this dude and try to upwards with the flat of the blade.
All right, swing at him.
All right. Oh, 15 plus stuff. I should have it right in front of me. I don't. Plus 7.
That'll hit.
Oh, cool. That is 13 non-lethal damage.
Okay. Yeah, nice solid hit there. Wasn't a fan of that as you came and you cut down. Anything else you're doing?
I'm not spending a smite on these guys until I think that it's worth it. However, I know. Can I try to like position myself so that I'm in between this dude and Jarvis? Like just kind of
so
back
two
away
of
from
them are
Jarvis, just, like,
holding
circle around.
two of them are holding Jarvis like by the arms, or what would have been the arms, because now
Mhm.
one's been hacked off. So like it was cut off at the elbow, but they're still holding him up here. So yeah, you can get in between that guy and Jarvis, but there are still two holding Jarvis.
Okay, I'll get them in a sec.
Okay. So yeah, you have basically stepped in front of Jarvis and are like, let's go. All right, Hiccup, your move.
Gosh, how do you non-lethally throw spells at people? Here's what I would like to do. I would like to use my meta magic to twin spell Chaos Bolt at the two schmucks holding up Jarvis.
Okay.
That was a wonderful sentence.
Yeah, that was a great sentence.
That's so well versed.
Thank you. His Hiccup is pissed. Okay, it's a first spell slot. And I
Hey, thanks for the raid, Arcane Anthems.
Oh,
thank you. Welcome.
Thanks for coming in. We're in the
You
middle of a
wet?
battle. Someone has just cut off their favorite NPC's arm, and they're out for blood.
Yep.
But we were told we can't have that.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
So my question is, do I roll the attack roll per
Yeah, even if you're twinning it, it doesn't
bolt?
just
Okay.
per bolt.
Well, just wanted to be sure. I'll go ahead and do that. Oh fuck. Yeah, my first one was a 12 and the second one was a 9. I'm pretty sure it's too late. Yeah, it's too late to do Tides of Chaos. I already rolled the die.
I mean, you haven't heard whether or not it works or not, and that's usually when we trigger stuff. So you can tell
I
me.
would like to do that. I'm feeling chaotic.
Okay, and Tides of Chaos, does that trigger on one roll or what?
Hang on. It has been a minute. Come here, you. Sorry, I'm looking at D&D Beyond and I got things everywhere. Let's see here. It is an advantage on one roll.
All right, so which roll would you like to gain advantage on?
I'm gonna re-roll the 9, so I'll keep
Okay.
the 12 and I'll re-roll the 9.
Okay.
Let me just mark that. Used it. I rolled a nat 20.
Okay, so both hit. The
Oh.
12 lands, deal damage on the 12 first, or whatever the Chaos Bolt does. Deal that one
Okay.
first.
Yeah, I think I have to roll to see what type of damage it is real quick. Because yeah, I have to roll a d8
Okay.
to know what the type of damage is.
All right. Roll that.
And then I roll the damage for it. So that one is a 6. That is poison damage.
Okay.
So I need to roll 2d8, I believe. Let me just check. Yes, I need to roll 2d8 for the damage itself.
Let's see it.
A whopping 6 points of, hold on, there's 2d8 plus 1d6 damage according to the spell description. So that is 6 and another 6. So that's 12. That is 12 total damage of poison for that first hit.
2d8 plus 1d6. And hang on, if you roll the same number on both 8s, it leaps from that target to a different creature. So did you roll 6 and 6?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so another creature within 30 feet, any one of them, it gets to jump at them too and try to strike them. Because Chaos Bolt, if you roll on the 8s and they're the same number, it leaps off of them like an arc of lightning.
Oh, wow.
So pick a new target for this first attack. So it strikes them, then it jumps again, and you get to roll an attack on that to see if it strikes them.
It's so cool.
So
Okay.
good.
This is my very first time using Chaos Bolt, folks. The second one is going to go for the one that Brutus is fighting to give her some backup.
All right, so this first one nails one of them, holding on to Hiccup. And how much? Holding on to Jarvis. How much damage did that deal? You said 12?
That was 12 poison damage.
Okay, but it's also plus a d6, right?
Yes, that included the D6. I rolled a 6 on the 2D8 and I rolled a 6 on the 1D6.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. It might not jump then. Let me get this straight. There are 3 dice you rolled. Was it a 6 and a 6 on the D8, or was it a 6 total on the D8?
Oh, it was a 6 total on the D8. It was a 5 and a 1.
Okay, then no.
And then
if the
the-
D8s
okay.
are a 3 and a 3, a 2 and a 2, a 1 and a 1, they have to match, and then it will deal that. So it's just the 12 damage, and
Got
it
it.
doesn't jump.
Got it. Okay.
But
I will get
you're
the
s-
hang of this.
But your second hit is indeed a crit, so you're going to
Mhm.
roll 4d8 and 2d6. And what I'm going to
Woo,
say on
one-
this is if any of the 4d8 match, so if 2 of them match, it will chaos bolt.
Okay.
So roll
Um,
4d8 and tell me all of the numbers one by one.
Okay. Should I roll the damage type for that one too, or will we?
Oh, yes,
Or is
yes.
it also poison?
Nope,
Okay,
roll the
this
damage on
one-
that. It's a new one.
That is lightning damage.
All right, lightning.
Okay. So 4d8. Hang on. I should have had more dice. Okay, so I rolled an 8 and a 3 on the first 2
Okay.
of the d8s, and the second 2 is a 7 and an 8 on those.
All
two
right, because you
D8s.
got 2 8s, that is going to arc. So roll the 2d6 real quick to figure out the full damage on that first strike, and then we're gonna
Okay.
arc it wherever you want.
That is that is 11 on the 2d6.
All right, so you just dealt 8, 8, 16 plus 10, and 11 is 21. So 16 plus 21 for a total of 37 damage
Fuck yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
in a single blast. And as you blast that, it hits that guy, and his eyes roll back, and he drops down. And
just
that
gonna-
was lightning damage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, off right.
Yep. Um,
And then, yeah, you have the
After-
ability to arc it.
I'll go ahead and see if that arcs and hits the guy that's Brutus is fighting.
Okay. Roll an attack against that guy.
19 plus 4, that is
That'll hit.
23. Okay. I gotta pull that spell back up. Where did you go? Okay, let me see. Is it still lightning damage or a new type of damage?
New type. It's every time it arcs, it always changes. So it could hit someone for poison, then arc to lightning.
I rolled a 5. That is lightning damage.
All right, so it's another lightning and deal the damage.
Okay, that's a 5 and a 1 on the D8, so the total is 6.
All right, and then add that
And-
D6.
That is 5.
Okay, so a total of 11.
Okay, I did do Tides of Chaos.
Yep, and you
I
are now
believe
going to
that's an
roll on
automatic
the
surge.
Wild Surge table.
Oh no!
Yup. Oh, yes.
Great.
Potted hiccup.
Wait to get hit by
Please don't do
fireball.
that. Please
on,
don't
let-
do that.
Let me see what it is.
All right, tell me what you got.
Okay, I got a 29. I have no idea what that is.
That is,
have the
you
chart.
teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see. So you've got 60 feet of teleportation right now as you cast Chaos Bolt, and then suddenly you feel the energy pulling you somewhere. Where does it pull you?
It would be 60 feet. Are we on a path? I know this is a silly question.
You can see out the back of this area. There does seem to be some sort of path that leads up and around the corner.
I want to go up that way.
You want to go 60 feet away from the party?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So you
Yep,
just teleport towards what looks like a way out of here.
So after he casts, he just pulls in as deep as he could. He is just so pissed. And after he casts the spells, he just screams, "Get out!" And then just
And
just
teleports over.
teleports.
And seeing that first attack go down, the other one that was hit by the firebolt looks over at Ruby, who just struck them, and then looks back at the group and immediately runs towards Brutus, because Brutus is amongst the group and their fallen member is down there. They're going to swing at Brutus. And with pack tactics, they have advantage as you are surrounded. And so that first one is going to be a 19 to hit or a 16 to hit. Does a 19 hit?
19 hits.
All right. They are going to swing at you with their dagger there, dealing a total of 8 slashing damage.
Okie doke.
And then they are going to swing again with a 17 or a 7. Does a 17 hit?
17 hits.
All right. And they deal an additional 3 slashing damage. And that is their move. They are now all grouped there. Terex, your response.
Okay, Terex takes a deep breath, as they've learned. Go ration back. Who to be in charge out of the other people?
The one that just ran and advanced on Brutus seems like they might be. Because they were the ones who called out to you and said, "Who are you?"
I am going to turn to them and say, let's not do any rash. Wouldn't want anyone else to get hurt. And cast Cause Fear.
Ooh. Okay. What do they got to make?
Wisdom save.
They have a +0, so this is just up to the die.
Please roll bad.
That was a 6.
They are now frightened of me.
What do you look like to them?
So as I'm saying this, I am using my right hand to pull sword out of its sheath, and it's cutting along my palm as I'm doing so, and I'm just staring them dead in the eyes.
And as your blood magic starts to congeal and take form, it crawls up your hands and it is waiting, ready to jump onto your blade for use as you are focusing this energy. But you take that time to issue this word of warning to them. And this strikes something inside of them. And it feels tight in their chest. And this isn't what they came here for. This is supposed to be an easy hit and run. And they begin to panic. And you can see the fear in their eyes. Now, they're frightened right now. Do they have to run, or is it one that they have to run, or they just can't move towards you?
I believe it's like the frightened condition. So they cannot move to me. I think they have to use their end to move away from me. And as long as they meet, their attacks are at disadvantage, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And as I do that, I continue walking toward them. So I am up toward Brutus. And as blood maledics aren't even an action. Dope. I am going to look them in the eye and say, tell your friend to stop being so dramatic. Look toward the one who's fallen on the ground and like fling my hand so some of my just like spatters across, and I will do the right focus. Which one is it? The one that heals them. So he's up to like not gonna die. I rolled minimum.
Okay.
He gets 3 whole hit points, the one who's down.
Okay, so he gets 3 hit points.
And he's now speckled with my blood.
He's still out, but you know that the blood sort of healed a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
That's my turn. That's all I got. Action stuff.
And the next one in their turn is going to grab onto Jarvis now. Because they still have a hold of Jarvis. Actually, sorry, no, this is not that one. This is the one directly in front of Brutus. And they are going to try and grapple Brutus.
So athletics, is that?
Yeah, so your athletics or dex versus their athletics check here. They got a 13.
I got a 14, 16, 17. I got a 21.
Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely evade that as they try to like go to grab you to hold you hostage, and you're just like, fuck off of me.
Oh, good.
They
Hell yeah.
they panic at that, and they try and maneuver themselves now over to the side of you. But that is all they do. Tear.
Yes. I am going to turn to the third one who is by Jarvis, and I am going to pull out my hand and pull it back as the stars start to shine on my arms and point it forward and cast Guiding Bolt on them.
Cool.
And that will be a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Nice.
Cool. And that will be why 18 points of radiant damage.
Yeah, you decimate this guy, and he's not looking good. And he is breathing heavy and is just not. He's looking very bloodied.
Okay. I'm going to also yell out afterwards, leave now and your recovery will be faster. And
Make an intimidation check after a hit like that.
oh, I have a +0. That's perfect. Oh, that's a 5. Oh, I'm too special.
Aww.
I'm gonna roll his response, which is gonna be a wisdom saving throw. He has a +0 to beat a 5.
Okay.
Nat 1. Nat 1.
He
Like
rolled
a
a
15.
7.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Barely.
He's barely
barely
like,
enough.
"Ugh."
His
All
bad
right.
is better than my bad. He also after that, as the light hits him, he does absorb a little bit of the purple light that leaves, but he starts to twinkle a little bit as the next attack against him now has advantage.
Okay. And so it is now. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, that is my turn.
It is now his turn, and he holds a dagger up suddenly and says, "Nobody move, or we'll kill this guy."
That's a
And
mistake.
Jarvis chimes in, says, "I actually am not technically this guy. I am a Warforged." And the guy responds by attacking Jarvis with
Oh, that bitch.
a 21. And he digs his dagger just like into Jarvis's shoulder. And digs it deep into Jarvis's shoulder on the arm that's not cut off. And he says, I'm serious. And it is now the guy on the ground's turn who is knocked out, and he does nothing. He's incapacitated. Hiccup fried that dude with electricity. He's out. You healed him to not die, but he's out. Which brings us to Jarvis's turn. And
Jarvis.
Jarvis responds, well, I would rather not be killed today. I have quite a lot of things to do. And Jarvis responds with a 19 to hit this guy as Jarvis reaches up and grabs the dagger out of his shoulder and spins around and slashes. As Jarvis spins around to slash with that dagger, dealing that is a total of 8 damage. You see as he spins around and slashes, this guy reaches for his throat and begins clamoring at a wound that has been cut straight across his throat and falls to the ground.
Be non-lethal.
Wait, are we allowed to kill them?
And Jarvis turns around and says, oh, my apologies. I didn't mean to do that. And he reaches down and casts a single point of healing to seal up the wound. But this guy is out. He's you don't even know if that saved him because Jarvis straight slit his throat. And
Jarvis, baby, no.
that brings us
This is why
back
he's our
to
favorite.
that brings us back to Ruby.
Okay. How many are left that are standing?
So 2 are down. One is on the side of Brutus, and actually both are flanking Brutus.
Okay, great. I'm gonna move in to help Brutus then. How far are they from me?
They are from where you're at, about 10, 15 feet.
Oh, okay, easy. Let's see. How are they looking? Have we hit them at all?
Yeah, you have.
I know I hit the one that the one that we thought was the leader that is now fearful of Terex. Okay.
Yeah, you hit him, but the one that's circling on the opposite side of Brutus definitely took some serious hits.
I want to take the one because one of them was trying to grapple. She was
Yeah,
able to
that
get
one.
out. Okay. I'm gonna go for the other guy that looks a little healthier. Just
Cool.
that way we can get them down to some decent damage here. I don't want to kill him, and so
All right.
Okay. I would like to take my movement to walk up behind him.
Sure.
And I want to take a dagger and kind of stab it in between his ribs. Just as just there, because a dagger is not going to deal as much damage as I want to kill him with.
Cool.
And then as I do so, tell him, stand down now, and we can stop this.
Okay, so are you going to like poke him, or are you going to stab him?
I'm not going to stab it like all the way in, like to try to puncture a lung, but just enough
Yeah.
as a warning.
Cool. So make that attack roll.
Cool. Okay,
Warning
that's a
poke.
17
That
plus
hits.
5. Okay, great. That's 1d4 plus 3. I use my metal dice.
You really said
7.
Cauldareen sends their regards. I love it.
Cauldareen sends their regards. That's a total of 7 damage.
Okay.
And as I do so, tell him, if you stand down now, we can stop this.
And yeah, you dig this in, and he's not pleased, but he's still looking all right. And again, you stab him, and you're trying to persuade him here or intimidate. What are you trying?
I want to intimidate them.
All right, go ahead and try.
Okay, great. Let's see.
He's going to respond.
That's a 10, so not
All right.
not very intimidating.
You got a 17.
Okay, not very intimidating then.
And does you do anything else?
No, I think I'm going to leave that there.
All right, Brutus.
Okay. I'm gonna try to take a stab at the guy who tried to grapple me. 18. No, I have a little bit more. 20 to hit.
Yeah,
Dirty
that
20.
hits. That hits.
All right. That is 14 non-lethal damage.
How do you hit him?
I was thinking I'd go straight by the hip bone with like a slash, so like not lethal but incredibly painful, just along
Cool.
the side of the hip.
And so as you just kind of thrust past his hip, you see him reach, and he's and the blood loss is starting to get to him, and the adrenaline is wearing off as he passes out.
So I just reduced him to 0 HP.
Yep.
I get a bonus action attack because of my Great Weapon Master.
Oh hell yeah.
I just want to turn around and like take the sword that I just slashed this guy with and try to like clock the guy that Ruby just stabbed with the hilt.
Go right ahead.
I think that's the same thing. Like 20.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah.
The AC is 11.
Cool. Okay. I'm just sitting here doing math for nothing. And then I rolled max damage. So that's 17 damage to clock this guy in the face.
As you punch him or you smash him with the pommel, what do you do here?
Yeah, I just get him with like I just like stab the other guy and just like swing around and bring the pommel up into like his chin.
And you watch his just eyes roll up as you know the resounding sound of a knockout. That was exactly what you needed, and you just
Ruby looks hella impressed and gives a thumbs up.
flipped around and crushed this dude.
Good, because Hiccup was gonna fry them again.
My way might be a little
Chad-
less lethal.
Chad is
Like a tiny bit.
100% been over here like, I slit his throat non-lethally. I chaos bolt non-lethally.
Got through the heart non-lethally.
I mean, I'm not even judging Jarvis. That was
Look.
deserved. I drop a nuke non-lethally.
Love it a
Look.
bit.
They're alive.
But did they die?
But did they
But
die?
Did they die?
And yeah,
I
so
think
you've
Jarvis was like, "Don't kill them," and he almost killed them.
I know. it's
Don't
so
kill them.
good.
Oops, okay. Stop it. Let's
Sorry,
go.
sorry. I can fix this.
Oh no!
Go to sleep.
Oh no! Oh no!
And yeah, so you have just completed this. You've rescued Jarvis, who is putting the dagger, just tossed it onto the ground, and they go over and they pick up their severed arm, and says, "Well, that was unfortunate. I'll have to reattach this. I appreciate the assistance. I didn't want to go all out and accidentally kill them.
What are they?
Jogging
Thieves?
on over.
Assassins?
I figure from the words they were saying when they approached me, give me all your stuff, and what are you doing out here by yourself? That they were ne'er-do-wells, searching for some form of profit after attacking me. I feel
They're bad
kind
at it.
of bad.
They paid
I-
for
assholes.
Warforged.
I
They're
figured
fine.
they wouldn't have attacked me if they knew there were 5 more on the way.
What?
When I
Bad
finally
problem.
catch up to the group, I'm just like, okay, are any of them dead?
I think they're all alive.
think
I
they're
kind of
around.
pick at one a
Those
little bit with
students.
my hand to see, no, my shoe to see if it's like.
I think we should take like their stuff. Seems fair. Maybe just each of their left shoes. Wouldn't
my
that be the
God.
worst? You just wake up and like
No, that's
in
the
your
thing.
left
We
shoe.
should totally do that. We should
I
do that.
mean, that's probably better than me saying, let me just chop off a hand so I can have a snack
What?
on the go.
Yeah, they're still alive.
We can't.
Well,
do that.
he could. He could.
I could.
Okay, look, you
We
could, but we're not
shouldn't,
going to do
but
that.
he could.
I mean,
just
not
saying,
even,
they
not
could have
even
died.
any fingers.
They could have been dead.
My
Just like a
God.
little pinky finger.
Yeah.
They're still alive, though.
Yeah, we're not
You don't
talking
want them
pickpocketers
dead.
here. They attacked somebody.
Look,
They
if they
chopped
were
off
dead-
his arm.
If they were dead,
Yes,
They would
but
be
he can
different.
They
fix it.
chopped off Jarvis's arm. We could chop off one of their fingers. If they can attach it themselves, it's fine.
Yeah, but you know, like
their limbs don't reattach, nor do they
You don't
grow
know
back.
You don't know
I
that.
thought-
There's magic everywhere.
Bring me some take some rope and just start like,
everywhere.
just help me tie them up.
I guess we can just turn them into the guard.
Just
Don't think
gonna,
we should take their shoes though.
I'm gonna help them. I'm gonna help tie them up. He says, I met one lizard folk who lost his tail, but it grew back.
As Ruby's just like, my God, I'm just gonna put them all kind of together and just do a very simple tie around them just to keep them there.
How long did it take to grow back?
About a month. Because I mean, he was a big
Okay.
guy. It was a lot of tail for him to regain.
Okay, cool.
It's not bad.
You can eat your own tail. Okay.
Well, he didn't choose to eat his own tail. It was a long story.
Ruby's gonna look to Jarvis as this is going on, having tied up these people. Is there a guard that we can turn them into, or are we just leaving them here?
Oh, well, I figure we could probably just leave them. Less people
Great.
to know that we're here.
Great, I'm fine with that.
I feel
And
we should take their shoes anyway.
You can fine. Okay, take the left shoes. Just put them out of reach from them. So that way they can't get them. That's annoying.
He's gonna take the left shoe. He's gonna like take all the left shoes and tie them all together and just fling them so they're dangling from the top of the tree. They have to look and find it.
I'll flip them off as we walk by.
And
Jarvis.
as you go to leave, Jarvis says, "All right, I suppose I can get us to our location. I'd rather not say it out loud in case anyone else is listening."
Sure.
Right.
That's
yes.
fair.
Are you
Sounds
okay?
secret.
Looking at where he was also stabbed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, a little unfortunate, but nothing I can't handle. Like I said, good timing though.
Can you survive like being like if someone cuts off your head, will you survive?
I am not certain. I've not had that done yet.
Let's not find out then. Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Oh, and before we go, and Jarvis moves over to the 4 passed out thugs because you have just downed all of them. And he says, I am sorry that things did not go to your liking. I know it can be frustrating when work does not go as we wish. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out 4 gold coins and puts one in front of each of them. I think you were hoping to make some money on today's job, and this is the least I can do. And then he gets up and he just starts walking away.
Jarvis, it's not a job. They're just
Jarvis
assholes.
Jarvis is
Well,
Come on.
In their eyes, technically, we are also assholes now.
Yeah, but not in my eyes.
Come on.
But gold is useful in almost everyone's eyes.
Right, whatever. Just yeah, fine. Let's go to the top secret location or whatever.
Yeah, and actually, that's sort of a really impressive intimidation tactic, right? Like, you attack some guy, say that you're gonna kill him, but instead, him and his friends beat you up, knock you unconscious, take your shoes, but leave you money. Like, that's a power move. That's a power move.
They're gonna be so fucking confused.
Cauldareen, where we don't
Well,
hurt the
you
enemy, we
know-
just confuse them.
Chaotic neutral at its finest.
Well, maybe they should have thought about it before trying to mug a guy.
Yeah.
And Jarvis, no less.
Yeah, maybe they should have thought about the weird fucking wake up they're gonna have. Hey, why don't we mug that guy?
Gold piece, see shoes. What?
Hell happened.
Sees
You
all of
can't
them are
even do
alive.
anything about your stolen shoes though, because it's like, well, we tried to jump people. That didn't work out, but they left us money that cost more than the price of all those shoes combined. So
Wow.
And so Jarvis leads you all out of this space. And you recognize this place as a garden. It looks like there's a lot of vegetation that was down here, or at least a lot of things set up for it. And he begins to explain, this is one of the underground gardens and vegetation habitats for the city of Gimdri. It was an old project that they used to do before they came up with more efficient ways of managing their food needs. And after a while, they simply abandoned a lot of these locations. Therefore, I thought a tree in the heart of the city was almost fitting, considering our last conversation, Ter.
Yes. Okay.
And
Okay.
therefore,
Very
less walking to do on your part. Unfortunately, it seems it came as a trade-off, as lots of street urchins and thugs like to use these hidden areas to hide and reside.
Oh no. Okay.
I thought
I'm
this one was abandoned, but it seems they followed me down here and attacked. But luckily, it was good timing. I was simply checking in to see if you had arrived yet.
Okay.
Wait, I have another question. If there isn't, like, if there's a mission in the middle of the desert and there are no trees, so, like, do I have to still walk all that way, or does how work?
Well, I suppose that depends on what is required. As a scout, I have various options at my disposal. And he reaches in to one of his pockets and he pulls out a wooden token. And he shows it to you for a second. And on it, you can see the inscription of a tree. He then takes it and he throws it. And it ricochets and it actually bounces off the ground and then smacks into a wall. And he says, oh dear. And as it smacks the wall, it lays flat there. And then you see it sprout and begin to snap and crack. And the coin just snaps in half as roots start to take shape out of it. And it crackles and begins to extend, but he hit the side of a wall, so it's extending horizontally, and a tree extends out and forms, and the leaves begin to bloom on it. And he said, "Oh, well, that will be harder to explain.
Oh, that's tidy, that is.
I am able to call all 4 of the teleportation requirements at any point. Well, except now I can't do that one until I replace that. But you're already here, therefore it was an all right situation."
Amazing.
It's very cool. That's very, very.
I love him.
Why didn't we just teleport to this tree if you could have made it like home?
Because you already had the.
Keep it out of sight, so don't want to make a tree like in the middle of the city, but a tree that's not too far away from the city.
And now we just got this sideways tree.
And now I
What
have
if
two
we
What
had,
kind of
like, a
tree is it?
inside an apartment?
This is a really important question.
Actually, yes. What kind of
It's a cedar
trees?
tree.
Cedar.
Oh, I go smell that. Mm.
And
Fruit
he
is the tree
says,
sniffer.
"Well, we can go this way and head on out."
Yeah.
And he leads you up a staircase that takes you to a tunnel. And this tunnel seems to go on for a bit with several spots branching off. And he motions that there were other underground garden areas. And so he tried to pick one that was less foot traffic if people were slipping underground. And then we come through there. And he brings you up to a gate that you can see has clearly been forced open. And he pushes it open now, and you step out into the city of Gimdry, the capital of the land of Forge, the pinnacle of innovation. And around you, you see buildings made of all sorts of material, almost like it's a competition on who's making the best building. There are wooden and metal ones. There are ones made out of just stone that resemble bits of like Cauldareen almost. There are parts of interesting buildings that are like just log cabins in the middle of here, but you can tell there's something interesting about their design. And there is just so much going on. And you can see fire rolling up, the smoke billowing from all the forges and smiths. You can hear the clanging and the clattering of folks. You see a horse getting its shoes reworked by someone as they're hammering onto the heel. Someone walks by with a completely metal arm. Seems like augmentations were made. Someone walking by has a battle axe over her back, but the blade has been curved as if it splits into 2 blades at the end. Someone
Brutus
walking
is just
by.
like nerding out so hard.
Aww.
Some kid rides by on some thing, 2 wheels underneath him as he carefully balances on a seat and rides by on this wheeled device, zipping past you at a speed that outpaces anyone you could think of running.
Jacob's gonna
just
point
zips
to it
by.
and be like, "That's cool. I want that. I don't know what that is, but that's cool."
I think it's called a bisexual.
A bicep.
Yeah, I think that's the word. Yeah.
I thought people were bisexual. Am I getting this wrong?
What?
And
Never mind,
Jarvis
never
looks
mind.
back and says, "Well, I am not people, but am bisexual, so perhaps you are getting it wrong."
Ah, I'll get it right one day.
And then Jarvis looks and says, "Our destination is the Oak and Steel. I have got you situated there and have been awaiting your arrival."
I don't think anybody in this city needs to wish on stars. They have all the innovation they need here, I think. I
You
look
think-
around and walk towards it.
I think I'll have time to maybe just go like watch at one of the forges or something. I mean, I don't want to like bother them. I would
I'm
like to
sure we'll make
see
time.
how
Mission
they
first.
work.
Brutus, mission first.
Yeah, no, of course.
we'll
I
make
mean, of
time.
course. Just,
We'll
but like
make-
maybe
we'll
before
make
we
time.
summon meteors.
Sure. Ruby's like, please.
Was that a stab at the team or a request to Corso?
It was a hey
¿Por qué
Corso,
no
please
los
don't do this to us again. It was a hey Corso, please don't. Like, cool. We like the city. Please don't do that.
And so you push in to Gimdry, the capital of innovation in all the 12 lands. And you see all sorts of magical, mystical things. You actually walk by a crowd of people that are watching two folks working on anvils, and someone blows a whistle, and you watch the two going as fast as they can, competing to hammer out this fix on a sword as fast as they can, like they're having competitions out here. You can see people on rooftops that are redoing the roofs with special mechanical attributes that are allowing them to lift things up to the upper floors with ease. It almost looks like some of the same device structure as to what makes the elevators in your apartments. And so you're seeing lots of elements here. Like, there's definitely been some influence in Cauldareen from folks in the land of Ford. It's what they specialize in this country in.
Seeing the two like competing, point that out to Brutus.
You're just like just overwhelmed. There's so many cool weapons.
Yeah, Hiccup is
good.
looking around with genuine interest because he's used to working with what he's got to make things for survival, but this is a whole new element to it. He's just fascinated to see how they use these things.
Maybe
And
we'll
you hear
learn
people
something new.
You hear people calling out to people as they walk by. Oh, get your sword sharpened right here. Get your sword sharpened right here. The sharpest place in all of Gimdry. Gimdry themselves would say so if they were here. But he's a busy god, so stop by us instead. And they're just like hawking all sorts of wares and calling out to people. Someone says, oh, hello there, dearies. Need any fine armor or updates? You can find it all here at Hammer and Smith.
Knowing that my party is going to like be ridiculous, Ruby will turn. We will come back. I promise we have money. Go. Like,
It's just basically the whole party being like McDonald's.
and Ruby being like,
home.
Weapons at home.
I'll do the one John Mulaney where he pulls and then buys a single cup of black coffee and keeps it.
Oh my god. Yep.
But no, Ruby's like, we will come back. They gave us money. That we have funds. We will come back. Let's check in first.
Yeah, no, of course. Very
Yeah,
serious. Very
yeah.
Right.
Gonna look
focused,
to
very-
yes. Gonna
very.
look to Brutus. Gonna look to Brutus and be like, "Do you think you can help me find some really cool armor?"
Yes, of course I can.
Yes.
And someone steps out and points. They're standing on a box and they step out and point directly to Ruby and say, you there, perhaps you would like to try your hand against my armor. And there's a
Yes.
crowd around them and they say, I bet to anyone here, none can damage this armor. And as a testament, I see a fighter and I know one when I see one. Would
Yes,
you
she
care to
can.
give it a go?
Yeah,
Can-
she can do it.
When
that's
will
the chair in
this
the
challenge
background. She could do it.
while this challenge is being issued, can Brutus like I don't know what skill I would use with like her martial knowledge to make an appraisal of the armor and like see like is it actually does it look like it's good? Yeah.
Give me give me a perception check,
I
but
also
because
would
you
like to
know
look.
armor, it'll be with advantage.
Okay.
Actually, no, this would be insight, I think.
Okay.
I would also like to look. Is it insight for me as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
Advantage. That's a 9. So
with advantage.
with advantage.
10 for me.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
baby.
Yeah, you look and you're like, I mean, it's armor.
Looks functional.
Cool.
Like, it's a very interesting design, and it's got like it's got like designs popping out on it all. And it's such a overlaid, like the chest plate, instead of one solid piece, there's actually like layered, almost like big chainmail, but it's like shingles on a roof.
Interesting. Is it metal?
No, it is leather.
Oh.
Interesting. Does it have metal on it?
It has metal accents, yes.
Cool.
And you can see basically where the flaps of leather overlay, there's little bits of metal peeking out underneath. Like they're guarding all of the spots where you could slash through. Give it a shot. Anything you want, have at it. I see a weapon there.
You want weapon or magic?
Oh, we have a magic user. And he calls out to the crowd, here at Protectors, we fear none. And points, do your worst.
Cool. Just gonna walk up.
Don't listen to him. Do your best.
Aw.
She gives Tara a thumbs up specifically. She's like, thanks, Tara. She's gonna walk up within 15 feet and use burning hands.
All right, you're going to try and burn the leather.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make that. What is that, an attack roll? Is that a dex check or
It is
what?
a dex. So he has to
Okay.
make a dex of 12.
Okay.
Which I'm sure that he can beat, like, with the armor, because I'm not sure. But she's gonna try anyways.
So, yeah, we're going to say that it's a guy, like, in the armor.
Right.
And as you make this swing, this dex check is a 17 flat.
He is still gonna take half damage.
Cool.
So he is going to take. Let me roll the damage here. Where's my d6? He's gonna take 5 damage, if any.
Yeah,
Based
and
on
so you cast that, and you're right. He still takes damage. And you actually singe the side of his arm, and it catches, like, over here on fire. And he's like, oh, oh. And the announcer dude runs immediately up and says, that was fantastic. But did you see that, folks? And the guy is like, oh, God damn it. Not a single scratch on him where he's wearing the armor. Now, if you want your arms protected so that things like this firecracker don't get you, then for double the price, we add the sleeves and the pants. And just begins hawking the rest to his crowd and immediately just walks off.
So yeah, Ruby's like,
Hiccup's gonna ask,
impressive.
is he really good at falling?
Ruby's
what?
like, wow.
At falling.
Do you
Yeah,
ask this to him or to the
Yeah.
group?
Where are you going
Just-
with this?
Push him, don't push him, don't push him.
Like, just curious, is it good at falling?
Who do you ask this of?
The guy.
Oh, and he turns back and goes, at falling?
Yeah.
Well, how do you mean?
I mean, you know, people fall from great heights from time to time. I was just curious if he's good at that. Can he protect
This
his body
armor
from falling at great heights? Yeah.
Will protect you from practically anything the average
Practic-
adventurer will handle.
Practically anything the average adventurer will
Okay.
handle.
Ruby's gonna be like, that was impressive. Come on.
It's like, oh, but I want to see if he can handle falling
I
good.
know you do, but we can't.
Does Hiccup do anything?
He's like, this will take me just like 1 minute. I want to try something.
Ruby's trying very hard
I'm
not to draw
very-
attention to them, but
Like,
like,
I am very curious to see if he can handle this.
Are you gonna trap a man from the sky? Like a-
Can I interject something?
please.
If Hiccup is allowed to, if Ruby and Hiccup both get to take turns playing games, Terex wants to go find some food, like
Yeah.
a food vendor nearby.
Ruby's trying to
For
pull
sure.
him away, but
So-
he's like, this will take
So
seconds.
Hiccup, go ahead and do your thing.
Oh, I also want food. Is there street meat?
Ruby's,
Yeah, we're looking for
Sure.
street meat. I didn't say it. We're looking for
Ruby's
street
too
meat.
busy with Hiccup that she doesn't realize that these two are just.
Are branching off? Yeah.
On the
So,
look for
Yeah.
street meat.
all right. So Hiccup, let's deal with you real quick.
Alrighty, I would like to cast Levitate on him.
Absolutely. And what is this that it's just you cast it, right?
Let me just double check. I believe he has to make a saving throw. Let me just double check here. Levitate. It says con of. Hang on. Let me just double check. I'm sorry, folks. No, he doesn't have to make a check. It just happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you levitate this guy and he starts floating up and he goes, oh, what the hell? Hey, what the hell?
It's like, Don't worry, don't worry. If you actually do get hurt, my buddy here is really good at healing and just pointing to Tear.
Yeah, I am.
I just realized that was a level 2 spell, so I have to roll to see if I surge.
Yeah.
This is fine.
This is fine.
Fun.
This is fine. That is a 9, so he does not.
All right, you're safe.
I'll add the point. The counter. All right. Cool. After he holds him up, it's up to 20 feet, it looks like.
Okay.
And while he's hanging out there in the air, he's just like, "You good? You good?" Just checking in with the guy who's in the armor.
And he says, well, I'm floating, so...
Okay, here you go. And I'm dropping the spell and just watch him just go.
Poor man.
He's just like that.
And you drop him
Yeah.
from how high?
20 feet, I believe, is the maximum.
All right, and so as he falls, he takes 8 points of falling damage, and he smashes into the ground and smacks his head. And the guy talking to you runs over and says, and yet, how do we feel? And he goes, oh, out of breath. But any broken ribs? Any injuries on the torso? And the guy goes, no, but my head kind of hurts. And he goes, yes, and it would, seeing as you didn't buy our helmet.
Okay, come on. Let's like.
Wait, can I rip
pushing
it?
them. No, we're not pushing to like. Let's go, and then looking around for the other two. Like, wait.
Yeah. And
Wait,
so Amelia,
where are my kids?
So we've got Brutus and Terex who have peeled off at the wonderful smells of food coming from behind them. And you see someone with there's just a street full of people, and someone has like a small little forge that they've got meat on a paddle that they're slipping into this little forge at their cart and pulling out. It's very like themed, and they're pulling these roasted meats out that are like the size of a dinner roll. And they're pulling them out and just dishing them out to folks and taking coin. You see someone else who has fresh breads that it looks like maybe baked that day, and they are cutting them they're cutting them long ways. So instead of like chop, 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 they're cutting them this way. And they're handing out these slabs and then allowing people to put things just on it.
Oh, yes.
We're piling the meat on.
Oh,
the
yeah. So
different
much.
kinds of meat. Yeah.
Absolutely. And they have all sorts of stuff, and they are passing it out. And so you're going to the bread, or you're going to the little...
We're gonna get the bread first, and then we're gonna get the meat. We're gonna put the meat on the bread.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
the plan.
Yeah.
All
that's
right,
the
so
plan.
you're both doing this together?
Aww.
All right, cool.
cute.
So yeah, you two go over and you grab the bread, and then you go over to the meat person, and they pull it out, and they put it on on like a little plate basically, and they hand it to you, they like wrapped up, and they hand it to you, and then you just, what do you do with it? Walk me through this.
Okay. Well, what kind of toppings were there for the bread, right? Because like, was there cheese? Like,
So over at the bread, they had some
So
types of
important to get right.
sauces.
It's
They had
really
some sauces sitting out there, and some fresh butter. And they had some mashed up berries,
Yeah.
basically making like a jam, but it was like preservable out there,
Okay.
made fresh. So
You
there
have
were
to-
lots of options.
You have to trust me on this, okay?
Yeah.
I put the butter on the bread so it melts, and then I put the jam. And the jam with the meat is going to taste really good. Put a little bit of the sauce. A
Oh,
little bit of
yes.
this, like mustard stuff. Yeah, it's I
absolutely.
promise, so good.
Yeah, that sounds great. Got the sweet tart and the meat.
And then yeah, so
And
you
the
go over
meat.
to once you go to the meat vendor and they hand you your plate, what do you do with that once they hand you the plate of meat?
I'm just gonna shred the meat and just put it on the sandwich.
And the meat vendor leans over and looks at you for a second, and it's like, and he yells across the way, and he goes, Morgie, did you tell him to do that? And the other vendor over at the bread leans out, and she goes, do what? They're putting the meat on your bread, and it looks like they topped it. And she comes over and says, and they look at each other and go, collab, and immediately start pushing their carts over near each other. And then the other guy starts yelling out, get meat on your bread, and just starts pulling his out and slapping them on some of Morgie's bread, mimicking what they just saw, because this town eats up innovation and ideas and regurgitate them in a heartbeat.
Galaxy brains.
Y'all just invented sandwiches.
I know you guys just invented sandwiches.
You guys are the best thing since sliced bread.
Literally.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so you have in fact gotten your sandwiches, and you've gotten to fight a suit of armor out here.
Ruby's literally looking around like, where did the other two go?
I'm sure
I
they're
feel like
having a
we-
great time.
I feel like we just like reappear.
Yeah, we reappear. We both have sandwiches.
Ruby's
Like,
like,
if you
Jesus,
look
sandwich
around, you're
goes,
like, where'd
"What
they
is
go? We're
that?"
just both behind you. It's delicious. It's what it is. Very good.
good and very, and it's just like mouthful of food.
It's like, it sounds really good.
It was really good.
all right, you
Uh,
guys can get sandwiches, then we're checking in.
Yes, okay.
And they allow you to
Awesome
grab these sandwiches, and then
Yes.
Jarvis comes along and says, all right, I can take us to the Oak and
Please.
Steel.
Please quickly. Please quickly.
Hiccup is very distracted by how amazing this sandwich is. This is probably the most blissful anybody has ever seen him.
better than fingers.
Better than fingers.
And they take you throughout the rest of the town to the location of the Oak and Steel. And you can see two barrels that are huge, like 10 feet tall, clearly made for design, sitting on the outside of this building with steel plating above it that reads Oak and Steel. And Jarvis steps up to the door, which is again a beautiful wooden door with a bunch of metal accents all throughout it. It looks like the grain in wood, is filled in with bits of like steel. So it has the shimmering wave look to the door. And he walks up and clicks the handle and pulls it open. As you step inside, the Oak and Steel. And Jarvis says, all right, I have acquired your rooms, and here are the keys. Now, if you'll excuse me for a moment, I do need to reattach this. Well, I suppose that might look... Why don't you all just come with? We can kill well, I don't want to kill anything. We can cover a couple of birds with one stone.
That's a big stone if you're trying to cover
Big
them.
stone.
Jarvis, you're a little off. Are you okay?
I do need a bit of repair.
I do believe that is an order. Let's go.
And like he's like leaking a little bit of like fluids and stuff from that like wound, but he's like sutured it in a way that it's stopped mainly, but there's a little bit of drip like on the floor as he walks in.
Yeah, we need to do that and take care of that now.
Yeah, and so he's walking by and he's carrying his arm under his like under his upper arm, and he's got his other hand to use. And as he walks in, the guy behind the counter is like, well, hey there, little buddy. That doesn't look too good. You need a hand with that? And somebody from at the bar goes, oh, God, we might need to get that dealt with real quick. And another woman pokes her head up from a table and says, hey, I could do that for 5 gold. I could take care of that right now. And someone says, hey, I'll do it for 4.
I think we can deal with it.
I think we got it, but if we need help, we will definitely ask.
All right. Well, if you need anything, just let us know.
Thank
And,
you.
Try not to
I feel
get
like-
too much of whatever that is all over the place.
Yep.
I feel like asking if you need a hand with that is sort of a bad way to phrase.
Correct.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah, just like quiet, but yeah.
Ruby's like, shh.
And yeah, so he takes you up above the double staircase that leads up and above this tavern. and leads to the couple of floors of rooms and takes you to the one he has acquired. And you step inside, and this is the room that Jarvis has grabbed. And it's a fairly decent sized room. And he steps in and says, please make yourselves at home. Although your rooms will be across the hall. So don't make yourselves so much at home that you forget I have acquired you room. But
It's okay, Jarvis. We got it.
Okay.
all right,
Please
I
take care
will.
of yourself.
I will
Jarvis,
handle this.
Will a healing spell help you?
Oh, well, if you would like to, you can. But I would hate for you to utilize your own energy.
Oh, don't you worry about it. You have saved us many a time, and I'm going to put my hand on their shoulder and cast a 2nd level Cure Wounds. That will be 13 points of healing.
Nice. And so as you go to do that, Jarvis is like tweaking his arm on his shoulder. And we're going to say that this takes a second. So as you place your hand on, you start healing him up. And he sort of discusses with you, oh, excellent. Hold on a moment. And as you begin to heal, the wound on his shoulder starts to sort of repair. Because a Warforged is not just like sentient metal. There's more to it than that. There's a little bit, all parts of it is just like a living organism. And so you're watching it sort of seal back up as essentially when you cast this healing spell, you're casting magic into their body to heal however they heal. And so his metal is sort of like lacing itself back together there and fixing some of the wiring and such inside. And his arm he had set up in such a way that he was reconnecting a portion. Hey, the governor! Thanks so much for the raid, bud.
Thank you, Josh.
Welcome in,
you.
Josh. We are having a wonderful moment where their favorite.
Oh,
We're getting a couple of raids. Triple raid.
So many
This guy
raids.
ends with 8 and 19 from Stream of Many Things.
hey, so many
Ooh.
things. Hey, words
Triple
for sale.
raid.
My goodness.
33 more
thanks so much.
people.
Words for sale to the fantastic
Dang.
job.
Hey, just so
So
y'all know, if
sweet.
we get to 90 viewers at any time before the end of tonight's stream, we are having to be in full prom outfits at the next stream. So yeah, we are at 57 right now. So if we get to 90, so 33 more people, and we have to dress in complete prom outfits. Right now, their favorite NPC had their arm hacked off. They basically murdered the people who did it to him.
Technically
immediately.
We did not murder.
We did not murder
We
them.
didn't-
Not
they
to
didn't
murder.
kill him. They didn't kill him.
I
but,
attempted murder.
but they definitely were gonna. And we got a hydrate check. Thank you for that moment. And so we're about to. He's currently repairing his arm. Ooh, we're at 62 now. So we need 28 more people.
Dicey.
Gosh,
And the
I
left
want.
shoes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we took all the left.
Spicy.
We
left
took all
shoes.
their left shoes.
I threw
But
them
we
over
also
a
left them
tree.
with 1 gold each. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
They're
Jarvis
fine.
left them with 1 gold each.
I like to think it was a team effort. I like
Yeah,
to think it was a team
Yes.
effort.
Jarvis
It's like a
had to-
group project, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's team building
It's
exercise. We have to have that. It's important. Ruby says so.
How to untie a thief's left shoe. Yes.
And then
That was class number 1 at
throw
Cauldreen,
them.
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then throw them in the tree. You guys didn't skip that class, right? Like.
Yeah. So I just threw a tweet out real quick to say that we were 20 folks away for a second from it, and just trying to get that. So yeah, if y'all want to throw a tweet out, let people know. Twitch.tv/Lark Network. We're trying to get to 90 viewers for even a second. If that reads 90, that means we got to do it, and we're trying to hit that. So let's dive back in and see what happens here. Thanks for that hydrate check, by the way. There. All right. So he holds up his arm as you go to cast heal cure wounds, and he holds his arm up and begins connecting some of the facets, and then nods to you to heal him. And as you do so, you watch as the wound in his shoulder where they dug the dagger in starts to close up, and his arm, he's already attached in some of the like points, and so now it's sort of connecting all of the fibers and the wires in there as you heal up. And it seems to mostly put it back together. And he takes it and he turns his Warforged arm and twists it and extends it and back up, a posture check, and says, "Wonderful. This will do quite nicely. Thank you for the assistance, Tear. It is always a pleasure."
Pleasure was all mine.
Now, to go over some of the information you require for your mission.
Oh,
Right.
right. We can't just eat. Right. Okay. Cool.
Like, I mean, I'm still eating.
Yeah, it's the beauty
Like, we
of the
can
sandwich.
multitask.
You can eat and
Nom,
yeah.
nom, nom, nom.
Miss Luna Featherbox is also in the city, currently searching for information on our targets. I tracked Altair and Bennett to this city. We believe they are here to complete more underground purchases. So Luna is currently looking for the most notorious place she can find, where some dealings like that may take place.
The notorious LUNA. I love it.
Now, we believe there are many different things in town that would attract his attention, so it will be up to us to decide where might be best.
Last time they hung out with performers,
Yeah.
had some musical ability, so might be they tend towards places like that.
For people who are capable of. No, I mean, you don't have to be a
Well-
spellcaster to get a tattoo.
No, and I also
It could be
I t-
anybody, really.
I mean, do we think that maybe since they're in a different land, they might approach it with a different tactic? So find the place that has like the most innovation, I guess. So that way they can prey on people easier, and we can find, I guess,
I
a
think-
stronger crowd.
I think we might want to look for the theme there was that performers have a lot of mobility, they're easy to get around, it makes sense for them to travel a lot. So maybe we should find the equivalent here of, people who travel, maybe sell goods, who interface with a lot of people. It would be very easy for them to get to read on things.
Yeah, merchants and the like.
You mean the entire street full of merchants and fordsmen and everything else that we passed?
But traveling merchants, different
Ooh.
deal, right?
People
Yeah.
who can cover more ground, not just here.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Be a pot supplier who would be able to connect with a lot of people. Just
Yeah.
spitballing.
Well,
Still seems worth to me to check in at, definitely some bars, busy places. From my recollection,
A place where
Um,
you can have a good time at the same time.
yeah, you like to tell
He was really
stories.
chill. We didn't suspect he was him at all.
Chatty.
Yeah. Place where you can what's that fancy word? It's schmeeze? Schmeeze?
That's right.
Schmooze?
Schmoz? Schmooze,
Schmooze.
that's it.
Yeah,
Good job.
we
Yeah.
got there.
that
Okay.
is excellent deductive work. I expect nothing less from Team 10. Now, if we are to wait a bit, we can get a report from Luna.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do that and then head out for the rest of the day and see what we can do on like the spots that Luna hasn't covered.
Certainly, you are welcome to wait here as she will report to my room in order to debrief.
Do we maybe want to go downstairs and like see what we can get from the people sitting at the bars down here? At least
should
start
probably
to
at
get to know
least-
people.
We should probably
So
at least
that way
check
we're
into
not
our
too far.
rooms and make sure that if we have anything, we need to leave in our rooms to put them there.
Do we all
That's
have
very
our own
good.
rooms? Do we have to bunk?
I acquired each of you your own room.
Thank you,
Oh,
Jarvis.
Nice.
You're amazing.
And he gives you the keys for each of your rooms, which are right across the hall.
Nice.
And so you all go set up in your rooms.
Mhm.
Building a pillow fort.
Oh my god! Instantaneous pillow fort.
Is there anything
Instantaneous
special
pillow
about?
fort.
Is there anything special about this that you are wanting to do, or are you proceeding to explore or wait?
I actually want to chill at the bar.
That's
Okay.
a
Kind of people watch, like enjoy, like also get a taste of the local flavor of their brewery, while just people watch just to see what to look out for as far as how do typical crowds function.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Ruby would join.
Yay!
Terex wants a drink.
As it sounds
Hey.
like we're going downstairs.
I'll say if everybody's grabbing a drink, like, I'll come and grab a drink. Like,
Ruby's like, oh, you said drinks?
Peer
Beer.
pressure.
Someone say drinks?
Cool. So yeah, everyone's heading out to nab a drink.
Yeah.
And so you head down to the Oak and Steel, and the bartender there says, "Hey, is your friend there doing all right?"
Oh, yes.
Much better.
Much better.
yeah, he'll be fine.
All right. Well, what can I get you?
I'll get whatever he's getting, and I'll point over to Hiccup.
What is a
Uh,
local favorite?
Ooh, that would be our Oak Nevor.
Ooh, what's that?
It's aged in oak barrels with a little bit of elderberry in
Ooh.
That
fermenting
sounds
with it.
that sounds sexy. I'll have that.
I like the berries part.
Terex will have whatever the fantasy equivalent of a Tito's and soda is.
And he
because I'm
says,
an obsessive note taker, what was it called again?
an Oak Nevor.
Ruby will order the same. That sounds good to her.
Yeah,
And
you know.
then he'll look at
local-
Terex, and
local
when
favorite.
you order, says, something a bit stronger then,
Yeah.
and pours a sharp spirit with a bit of honey that he places inside, and adds a little bit of, he takes a drop of a what looks like a little vial, and puts a drop of something in there, and it fizzes a bit.
Nice.
And passes that to you, and says, "This one's a good little bit of invention. One simple drop from a healing potion. Now, mind you, it won't restore anything, but the effects are felt in even small doses."
Love that.
And so as you take a sip of that, you feel the the bite of that strong
Ooh.
liquor, but then suddenly that little tinge of healing potion that's mixed in with the drink just kind of makes you just feel rejuvenated, even though you're still tired. If you're tired, you're still injured. If you're injured, it's just it's like you just drank a deep exhale.
Nice. That's very good.
And leans over to the others who are taking the Oak Nevor. Did all four of you take that?
Yeah.
Okay. And he leans in. Well, how is it?
Mm.
It tastes like summer. I like it very much.
And he says, "Yeah, well, I can't take all the credit. I got the idea from this bloke who passed through, some barkeep from a little town in Land of War. I
Oh.
think Visigale, was it?"
Oh.
Mm. Well, it's a good one. The winner.
Appreciate that. We put our own little twist on it, so it's ours.
I see what you did there, Corso. And I love it.
Also, does this count as a short rest?
Yeah, you guys have gotten a short rest. You've been chilling and hanging
yeah.
out here.
Cool. Brutus was down a bit.
Like, cool.
I'm gonna
I
spend some
don't
hit
get any
dice.
spell slots back from my short rest.
I just want to
I
recover
get
some
all
health.
of the things
Yep.
back at a short rest.
And
Y'all get
after a
stuff back.
while, in walks Luna. and you
Pretty
see
lady.
her in a different outfit than before. Seems a little bit more native to the area.
She a good spy. Okay, cool.
But we knew that.
Yeah.
And you can see that her weapons, you can't see them, like, but you kind of see the slight bump on the hip, which would tell you one of her firearms is there. And so her rifle is not currently visible or with her, and she walks in, so seeming to be blending in a little bit more.
Seeing that Ruby's not going to call out or anything and just let her. I'm sure she knows they're there.
Yeah, and she walks in and walks right on up to you and says,
Okay.
well, what's good here?
Tells us to
This
drink.
drink. This drink is good here.
And she grabs it and takes a sip and says, ooh, that is nice.
Right?
Now, shall we go somewhere to chat?
Yeah, Jarvis should
Yeah.
be waiting for us in our rooms.
Oh, he's always such a doll. Let's go check in.
Yeah, he lost an arm earlier, but it's back on now. So
How did he do that?
It got chopped
Mugger.
off.
He was, yeah. He was trying to not go all out
And
against some robbers.
as you say that, her hand kind of twitches towards her firearm,
No. It's okay. We got
It's
it.
been taken care
and she says, he didn't slaughter them all this time, did he?
No.
Oh,
They're
of.
fine.
No.
Cut a throat.
Almost.
He just
Stole
cut
their
one of their
shoes.
throats.
they are four
Just the left
shoes
ones.
poorer. Yes,
But they
four
also
shoes
are each with a gold piece. So they're not really poor.
I do
Yeah.
think they actually probably made money off the exchange. So after a good night's
Honestly.
sleep,
He
They
only
probably
he only
very
slit one throat.
exciting story to tell.
He only slit one throat and then fixed it.
Yeah, they made
And-
it.
Honestly.
The barkeep behind the counter is just like looking down, eyes wide, and is just like dusting a glass, and he's just like,
Cool. Cool.
Cool story, bro.
But it was
anybody else
fine.
Don't worry, they're alive. They're fine.
Not that
And-
that happens normally.
she nods like up the stairs, and then she just kind of advances.
it off,
I'm
Yeah.
gonna take my drink
following
with me.
along.
Yeah.
Ye-
And as she enters Jarvis's room, she knocks, and you hear, "Come in." And she walks into Jarvis's room.
He sounds so much better already.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Oh,
I think
did
our
we-
DM froze.
Oh,
no.
no.
Phasing in and out
Oh, there
for
we
a
go.
second.
Okay.
There you are.
I was like,
Yeah, this is strange. So
I'm
anyway,
the DM now.
you all walk into Jarvis's room.
Yeah.
Great. And she turns around and shuts the door and says, all right, I'll make it short and sweet. First off, pleasure to see you again, Team 10.
You as well.
Pleasure.
Now,
Yes.
as far as things are going, I have found our duo. Altair and Bennett did in fact make it here to town. And I've been trying to dig up a little dirt on where they might be heading next. I think if we want to get the drop on them, we should see ahead of our target. Much like when firing a rifle, you want to aim right ahead of where they're going to be.
Oh. That's
Now-
very good.
Let's think this through. There are a couple of locations I have pinpointed. There is an underground street fight I heard of. A lot of betting to be made on this fighting ring. And I believe I found an inn on how to get involved with that. A little bit more on the high end folks seem to pay mind to that. Then there seems to be some sort of off the beaten path market hidden in the city. But I think I have someone in town I found who'd be interested in taking someone like me around the city. And she just like makes a like silly face and then like rolls her fucking eyes.
Wow, someone's a very good actress.
I mean, there's so many things that I could be shown.
Oh, little old you?
And Jarvis chimes in, but aren't you the better tracker in the greater area? Why would someone need to show you around?
They're flirting with her, Jarvis.
And she looks and goes, Jarvis, honey, because they're idiots.
Also that, yeah.
And he goes, understood.
I love
And
Jarvis so much.
she says, those are the top two things I've been able to find. The street fight group happens in about 2 days, from what I'm gathering. It's a bit of a hidden location, but nothing my contact can't handle. And the other would just take a little bit of a trip. So, really, 6 one way, half dozen the other, you know?
Okay.
We think these are
6-1.
places that Altair might frequent.
Well, if you're trying to offload or purchase the types of things that we've tracked him to be privy to, these would be the places. Stolen weaponry, information, all of that gets traded. The high-end folks do a lot of backdoor bidding and betting and buying at those fights. The fight itself is the least exciting thing happening there, from what I hear. And you've got
Interesting.
these markets when they pop up. They're never in the same place for long, but when they are, everyone who knows about them shows up, try and see what they can get their hands on, and vanish into the night. So, what do we think?
So I'm hearing split the party, or
That's what I was thinking. Are we splitting the party again?
Well, if you like, Jarvis and I here can handle one of them, but I'll give you the honors of picking which you'd like to focus on. Though you are more than happy to take both. This is Team 10's mission.
Because you said 2 days for the fighting, or and then the other one kind of whenever ish is what I'm understanding.
Yep.
We can do both.
At some point, we'll probably want to get more recon on whatever's going on at the fight, but
Correct.
we have 2
Yeah,
days.
but if
Oh, so we also have 2 days.
it's the same sort of crowd at both places and we make a fuss at one place first, might be harder to get into the second place.
Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like it is the same crowd. Seems like the higher end stuff happens at the fights, and then the more, I guess, just street level stuff happens at the market.
True, true.
And I'm pretty good at getting into places. So
That I do not doubt. I say we go do the fight. I think we have some pretty capable people that we can do stuff easy there.
I mean, would the idea be to pretend that we're nobles?
I think like maybe split our party within that. So like half of us go into the fight and the others are like their sponsors, maybe. So like 2 of us are fighting and then the other 3 are like, okay, well, I'm here to sponsor these people. And then we can see what we can glean from the crowd themselves.
Fair.
Hmm?
And if Luna and Jarvis are handling the market, it is a little more inconspicuous to be 2 people investigating rather than a large group.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Who's gonna fight? I can fight. I feel like Ruby should, and Terex probably. Good fighters though. Damn it. I was
That's
gonna
the thing
say you're
is-
probably y'all are sneakier though, so you could
I was
probably
say
get
Brutus
better
is a good
info.
fighter.
Yes.
I'm also a good liar, though.
That's also very true.
I am an okay person. I can do either,
Okay.
or I will do my best with whatever works best for me.
While I do think of myself as a skilled fighter, I think I might have better chance at perhaps, greasing some palms, fitting in with the higher class,
I can see that.
You talk better.
And I'm so polite.
Ruby makes a face like
Hiccup gives like a quizzical stare.
I mostly
It's like-
say that looking at Ruby just to see, like,
And Luna says to your party, so
You take the market and we will take the fights.
so.
all right.
Clarification: who's taking fights?
Okay. I think.
Here's
I
my
think if I
question. What
should-
kind of fighting is
I
it?
can-
That's also
That's-
a good question.
That's a
Point,
good
Luna.
question.
Is it hand-to-hand combat? Ruby is
Yeah.
asking us.
From what I hear, it's whatever you can do to not die.
Oh, so
Cool.
anything goes.
you
I
would probably
hate
be a
fights
very
for
good spectacle
sport.
there, Hiccup.
I
He
agree.
gets a little bashful and goes, I mean, maybe I could.
I agree. I think you would do very well. All right, so
I
who
could
is
be
fighting?
a fighter.
Hiccup is fighting. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll back up
I can-
Hiccup.
Okay.
But
then I
Protein, if
can
we
get-
fight each other, then I will die.
I think I think the ideal is to have neither of you fight each other. Maybe some sort of team competition or something. And,
We can fake fight
that's
if we
No.
fight each other.
we don't want to get thrown out for fixing a game because I don't think we'd be good at it.
Brutus,
I don't know.
if you
Again,
think
decent liar. If we end up fighting each other, just throw a lightning bolt and I'll just go down.
Okay. And
So
if you
if you want
if you
to go
punch
in
me,
with the
I
others-
can't act being knocked out. You will knock me out in one punch.
if you
I'll just,
want
you
to go
know-
in, Brutus, though, I can take your spot and go in fighting. Hiccup
Brutus
and I
is-
have done many I guess parry.
We've sparred many
That's
times.
the word.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good.
I remember.
Good word. Good
Yeah.
word. All right.
I'm
So
getting
So
better.
who am I putting
Don't
on
have
the
to.
fight docket? Because I can get that sort of pushed along, but I need names.
Put me
As in,
Hiccup.
we have to use a fake name?
You
I
can
mean-
use whatever you like.
I mean, I'll stick with my name. It's my name.
Hiccup,
Yeah.
I will go with
Tear.
Terrence.
Brutus,
Terrence.
Call me, I won't leave you down in a ring where you might die alone.
It-
I
You can do just as much good outside,
don't know, I'm pretty good with a sword.
and we won't die. You'll be there to save us.
well, and there's nothing that says you're going to be fighting side by side, unfortunately. These sort of things aren't a team situation.
Fair.
Right.
And there's no promises, but I'll mark you down. So, who am I marking down? Final answers?
I'll fight
I will as well, or Terrence will.
Terrence.
for this, if you don't want to fight, I'll sub in.
I mean, I think it's fine if like just two of us go in for the fight and the three of you
Okay.
figure out information.
Are you sure?
Myri, tell me what Brutus would do, regardless of other people saying. You tell me what Brutus would do.
She and I are both thinking about it. Well, if it's not a team situation, then she can't really. No, I think she'd probably still go in to be one of the fighters because she knows she's got a big scary sword, and hopefully she's more likely to get pulled for some dangerous fights than like her two soft nature baby friends who I know have been in scraps, but like, man, y'all ain't
You-
soldiers.
Friendly reminder, I fried a guy earlier the same day.
So tell me how Brutus interjects that.
Brutus is like, no, I'll go in. I know what I'm good at. And I think that's where it can be the most help.
And
Down
she
below.
nods and she looks at Ruby and Terex for a moment and says, and you'll be doing.
Recon, I suppose.
Trying to find out where the people
Excellent.
are making deals.
Well, I suppose there's no rest for the wicked. And she lifts back her like flap on her coat and withdraws her firearm and like checks it, clicks it back together, reloads it back into her holster and covers it back up. Back out I go.
Put me down as Rose.
I like it.
Aw, that's a
And
pretty name.
she wanders out. And Jarvis gets up and says, well, perhaps I ought to be making my way as well. But you are welcome to stay in my room here or go back to yours or whatever you would like. We will get you as much information about the fight as possible.
Right.
Thank you.
Good.
And they depart. And so you're left here. What did you guys want to do with your evening?
Go back to the bar.
Do we want to?
Didn't you just get over a hangover?
Yes.
Go back outside because there's fancy things outside.
Oh my
I want to
God.
go out and explore.
We have some time to kill and no, I guess
got a couple of
nothing to further
days.
the mission yet.
If you, Ruby, this is Ruby. If you go outside, please don't cause too much of a ruckus as to draw that much attention to yourselves. That's all I
mean,
ask.
Okay.
Do
I'm just
your
warn-
she looks at Hiccup. Do your best.
I can do my best.
Cool. Great. Just flashbacks to potted plant Hiccup.
All right. So what are we doing?
We're gonna go back out in town.
So
Yeah.
we've got Tear and Hiccup. What about Ruby,
buds.
Brutus, and Terex?
I know Terex, in preparation for the next few days, if would probably want to see what people are doing in this area with like enchanted metals and mithril and try and get an idea of what the scene is like.
Yeah, sure. So you're going to go out with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unless they're going to do
Separate.
fun things.
Okay. Brutus, Ruby?
I'm going to go sit down in the bar, I think, and just kind of watch the locals a little bit, just to see
Sure.
how they behave and act, that I can get an understanding before we do this mission. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna sit and get a drink and sit in the corner and kind of just observe for a while.
Okay. All right. Taking in the scene, getting a feel for the people. Brutus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brutus is gonna go off to try to find a forge to get her sword tuned up a bit. You know, it's like it's a good sword. He wants it taken care of, so it could use a little bit of smoothing over. She's been fighting.
Excellent. And so the four of you leave the building. And as you step outside of the oak and steel, roll a perception check, all four of you.
Heck.
Oh,
Natural 20! Finally!
Hey.
One of the night.
We're
Yay.
back. Hey.
That's a
it's
22.
a 10.
We
We got a
That's
3, a 10, a natural 20, and what for Hiccup?
13.
Okay, so here's how this plays out. With a natural 20, Terex locks eyes with someone who you absolutely recognize staring in your direction. You see a half orc in full leather armor with a sword on one hip and a dagger on the other. And they're looking at your party and just staring at you for a moment.
And I recognize them?
Roll a insight check.
Oh no.
If it's who I think it is.
No.
That's a 14.
They certainly fit the description of your target.
Heck.
I just kinda look back at them. I don't break eye contact. I just sort of wave. Like,
Prolonged eye
someone just
contact.
waved at me. Someone sees me, I'm just gonna wave.
And this half orc walks up, having made eye contact with one of you, and just approaches you four as you're stepping out of the oak and steel. They were passing by and just happened to see Hiccup and Brutus, and approaches over and says, it's been a bit, but I believe Brutus and Hiccup from
Oh,
was that
it was the
land?
Playful Pint.
Yes.
Yeah. How you doing? It's been a minute.
It has a few weeks, I believe.
Yeah,
Odd
that's a
to run
lot of
into you
minutes.
here.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Oh, just a bit of shopping.
Planning on playing any good gigs while you're here?
Oh, I don't play. I simply get to enjoy those who do whenever in a town with a good heart of performance.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, if you ever want to grab a drink, I'd be down. And how's your buddy doing? Really nice guy who was with you.
Ah, yes, quite well.
Good. Well, if the two of you ever want to kick back with a drink and hang out, let me know. Be happy to catch up.
And he looks up at the oak and steel and says, I suppose this is where we'd find you for that?
That's right.
Yeah. Yep. Hang on. I have this written down. Just if you haven't tried the Oak Noir, it's definitely a recommendation.
Yeah, we just had it and it's
It's really
quite good.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind. Well, enjoy your evening.
You too.
And he walks off.
The moment he gets out of earshot, Hiccup is gonna just slowly turn to the rest of the party and just be like,
All four of you roll an insight check.
Another natural 20.
Let's fucking go.
No,
Okay, this
hey,
means I'm gonna
one.
die. This means I'm gonna die.
Yes.
That's a 22.
again. I got another 13 for insight, I
Okay.
think. Yes.
And Moose?
15.
Yes.
15. So Moose and Hiccup, you just felt uncomfortable with the situation of recognizing who this was. Amelia, your character Terex felt the hair stand up on the back of her neck as she felt malice. She felt bloodlust. And she felt threatened. And that's where we end today.
Oh.